Hello, everybody. It's still more Loading Ready Run here on New Year's Eve. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm Beej, and you're watching a bonus stream. It's Beej's Anime Roundup. We do this every 3 months, which is enough. Because it's the end of the season, right? And at the end of a season, the start of a new season, it's a time of change. And we, when things are changing, we want to, look back and reminisce about the great time that we had over the last 3 months, and then also look forward to the future, because that's what's fun as well. But also because it's entertainment, you can just watch this stuff whenever. A note to everybody who's joining me tonight on the Loading Ready Run Hyper Entertainment Network: everything we do is brought to you by you. The lights stay on in this place in part because of the way that you support us on places like patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, a great way to support the things that we do. You can also get us on the YouTubes. What up, YouTube people? youtube.com/loadingreadyrun is the main channel, but you can subscribe there. I mean, you can become a member there as well, right? Like, you can pay money per month to be a member of our channel, which is kind of cool. There aren't a lot of you, and we do appreciate when anybody wants to back us that way. We want to give you options, obviously, but there's also the soups, all dim super thanks and super things and the super stuff that happens in the comments. Feel free to do whatever you like to do there as well. We do appreciate it. You can go to our store, store.loadingreadyrun.com, and get yourself things. For example, we still have some hoodies left. I am so pleased with this design. Now, I should also say that I didn't design this. I had a lot of the ideas for what we should do with the hoodie, and we worked with a design team to design and manufacture it. And a lot of so basically, I didn't have to draw anything really. I think I drew like one thing once. And while we had to decide, what were we going to do for the hoodie, we relied upon some great people to do some good work for us. I said, hey, can we do this, a step and repeat on? And it's like, yes. So this is kind of another thing of just little points, and I'm really proud of that hoodie. He says throwing it away onto a chair because he's not going to wear it at the moment. But yeah, that's a store. The store is the place to go buy merchandise, and another great way to support us if you're into having things in your life. There are some things there. There'll be more things all the time, obviously, and there will be less things as well, because as you buy them, there'll be less things on the store, but also as things sell out, we might not make them anymore, and that kind of thing. The last thing I do want to point out in ways to support us, like, there is paypal.com, which is great. And but I also want to point out the Friday nights, not that, not the Friday Night Funkin'. Boy, that makes that difficult. I'll go to Kickstarter and we'll actually look it up. Thanks, Bing. So Kickstarter. If I go there, I should have had this open to begin with. If I search for Friday nights, then I can show you what it is I was talking about. There it is. Cool, and it laid it all out and whatever, and let's have a look at that thing that is on my screen right now. It is the Friday Nights Kickstarter. We are really proud of this, and we are pleased, surprised, and encouraged by the fact that there are so many of you out there who are helping to see Friday Nights come back on, that we're going to be making it again. And man, you guys have pledged a lot of money, and there are a lot of you there too, and we're hoping to do right by all of this, and we really do appreciate it. So thank you for backing this, because it is one of those things where it's like a limited series. We want to put a lot of work, we want to put a lot of effort into it, and you guys showing that you want to be a part of that, it helps a lot. So I'm going to just jump off of that and back into the booth briefly while I change to a different thing. Oh God, are there ads on this site now? What? We're using AnyChart, and AnyChart apparently has full screen, full motion ads now, which I am not looking forward to, but that's fine. We'll figure this out. There, make it go full screen. Was there anything else that I wanted to do before we keep rolling on? I don't know. Man, I am at the top of that. I'm at the top of the microphone right now for people who think that I'm being a little bit quiet. I will get probably more animated as things go on. And speaking of being animated, I guess it is time that we actually get to. Now let's put me on the other side. Whoop. Okay, I'll be over here instead. Let's get to the talking of the anime because I had said originally that this is going to be 3 hours long, and I don't want to go till 9:30 if we can help it. So we're going to do what we can. Maybe we'll do this in 2.5 hours. I hope we can. Did I watch a lot of stuff? I think I watched a lot of stuff this season. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you guys watched that I didn't, obviously. And so let's get a few things out of the way for how Beej's Anime Roundup works. First up, just because I watched something that you didn't, or that I didn't watch something that you did, please don't take that personally. It's all about personal tastes, obviously. Like the stuff that you consume as media, it's like you shouldn't have to feel like you're consuming something as media because you need to stay up on a thing. I mean, sometimes you might feel that it's like, I will watch a bit of this so I understand what people are talking about. And in my industry, where I entertain people, knowing a little bit about a lot of things can be very helpful as well. Education is not a dirty word. But speaking of dirty words, smut is fun. And also, it's okay to like smut here on this show. We're going to be fine with that, right? If you are not a fan of smut, then I understand. We're not going to glorify a bunch of stuff anyway, but it's okay to feel it's okay to like smut. It's not okay to shove that into other people's faces. You got to work in the community that you're currently in, right? So please enjoy your smut. Please enjoy it personally. And if we are watching smut on this show, we're not going to watch smut on the show. But if I'm going over stuff that is that way, it's like, please understand that that's okay. So let everybody else here enjoy that in chat today. You got 3 hours, you got a free pass to kind of be okay about that kind of thing. You can be more okay about it on a lot of different Discords especially ones that I hang out on. But in this one, we're going to be like, it's okay to like smut, but we're not going to go out of our way to have in-depth conversation about a lot of that because I don't want to make other people uncomfortable either. Obviously, that's how that should go. I think it's obvious. I hope you work with me on this. Any other things that I want to get out of the way? It's okay to like smut, and also if I'm not watching stuff or I am watching stuff, that's not a comment on you as a person or on me as a person. Really, that's just the things that you like to do. And there's a third one. I can never remember what it is. This is like doing I should be writing this down, like I say every time. Let's get on with the shows, stuff that I watched and that I didn't watch. For example, 16-Bit Sensation, Another Layer. Heard from a lot of you in chat who did watch this. Great. Glad you enjoyed it. I didn't watch it. I didn't, and the reason why is that something about I gotta get the right mouse in my hand here. Something about the idea of this, right? Like I'm like traveling back in time, and I'm like, I don't know. I've read some manga and I've watched a couple anime that involve the kind of, what if I could go back to the golden age of blank? The golden age of making a thing, especially when it's like, there was one recently where it was like, this guy goes back in time because he realizes that if he had gone to the university that he'd wanted to go to, he'd be able to work with these 3 people who are at like the top of the industry. And instead he's like slaving away at this shit job. And if only he'd gone to that university and gotten to know them, maybe he'd be able to like be a part of that thing. And he wished for it so hard. Remake Your Life, I guess is what it's called. Thank you, Gekyo Yu. And he wished for it so hard that he actually did go back in time and do that. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of implications about going back in time and changing your life so you can change other people's lives. It's interesting to see that it's like, right, when these people who are at like the top of their game 20 years later, 30 years later, back in college, they were like, oh man, I don't know what I should do about anything, but I know I want to make a thing, so I'm really driven to make a thing, right? Like that kind of thing. It's like, I hate that idea of what if I could just go back in time and change that, because A, you can't, but also B, you would change a lot of other things thanks to like butterfly effect stuff, right? Like it just, I think naturally there's that sense of you would just change other stuff because you've changed your life now too. And I don't like that as much these days. And so this came out at a time when I didn't want to watch that kind of thing. And so I didn't watch it. If you watched it, I hope you enjoyed it. Moving on. Arknight's Toin Kiro. Didn't watch this. Definitely full of nouns. Reunion, movement, lungman, skull shatter. I'm like, I don't know. I just full of nouns, and you know how I am about nouns, proper nouns. Moving on. Atarashi Joshi wa Dotennen. Or my new boss is Goofy. We're watching this. Heather and I are watching this together. This is cute as hell. Um, is it gay? Probably. Everything about it certainly. This is great. It's very funny. It's healing. It is a goofy show. This guy here got power harassed. This is his new boss. His new boss is very nice, but his new boss is a bit of a little, not really an airhead, but he's just kind of like, there was a show that came out recently called Play It Cool Guys that Heather and I were also watching that we really liked as a like four young young men, some in high school, some in the workforce, who like all slightly different ages, that all just kind of end up running into each other and meeting up. But they're all kind of, they do like the dumb things where they're like, oh, I try to take a drink out of a can of coffee, but it's not opened. You know, the kind of things that you hope people don't see you doing because you did a dumb thing. This is fun. We've really liked it. I really like it. I don't know what else to tell you about it. Just if you want to watch a good, fun little comedy, this is a fun little comedy, and it's definitely vibes towards gay, but also we're not ever going to explicitly say anything about these two guys being into each other or any of these guys being into each other. The only guy who actually says anything about having a boyfriend and also having a girlfriend is the dude in white. He's a late addition to the cast. I'm noticing more anime these days that seems like they want to be just very like, oh, you know, I dated a boy for a while, I dated a girl for a while, whatever, that's a thing. Or, you know, I only date girls. Okay, cool. Like that kind of, that's, you see that in manga a lot. I read a lot of Yuri, so obviously I see a lot of like, oh, society's just okay with girls liking girls now, and that's because we don't talk about boys liking boys because it's Yuri, right? We talk about girls liking girls. Society's okay with that, so that we'll just kind of let that, you know, be a thing. And obviously it's, you get to ignore a lot of there are people who are assholes about this. And so I like that when you're engaging in that kind of fantasy, that it's like, I can cut out the shit that sucks. I can just say, like, we don't have to have this in the world that I'm building for these people. We can just leave that alone. It does make it a little odd when you're like, I don't know how true this thing is trying to skew towards whatever, because there's Yuri that I've read where the two girls will be talking about I'm talking about Yuri. Okay, so two girls will be like, we're gonna move in together because we're girlfriends, and you never know when they go to the real estate place whether it's going to be the people at the real estate place are like, yuck, you can't do that, we don't like that, we are traditionalists, or if it's going to be, we are completely fine with this because it's fine that two women can be partners with each other, or the people at the real estate company are completely oblivious to the fact that you two are dating each other and think that you're just going to be roommates. And there's like a whole bunch of those kind of, like, there's the continuum, and it's like, that's kind of the point where you're trying to figure out, it's like, where does the author come in on what they want to be a part of this world and what they don't want to be a part of this world. It's quite the thing. You don't really know where it's going. And I see that Aiko and Mog's already brought up I'm in love with the villainous. We're gonna get there too. So let's move on. Again, My New Boss is Goofy was a lot of fun. I would recommend watching it. It's very cute. Does it go anywhere? Not really, but where it does go, I think, is quite funny. Moving on. B Project, Netsuretsu, Love Call. No, I did not watch the third season of that. Beyblade X. I did not watch the 37th season of Beyblade. Bikurimen. I did not watch this. I love the idea of it just being like, this is just about characters from the Chocolate series. Cool. Didn't watch it. Didn't even know about it, let's be honest. Bokura no Ameiro Protocol. I didn't watch this. I don't know, the esports, like a sports drama thing. I wasn't really feeling it. Hang on a second, am I logged in? I am logged in, so you can see the things that are coming up there. So I didn't watch Bokura no Ameido Protocol either. Moving on. Boukensha ni naritai to myaku ni deteita musume ga S rank ni natteta. As you can see from the check mark, I was watching this, or rather, I watched part of this. Heather and I sat down I think we watched a couple episodes together, and we were kind of like, hit a point, because I'm reading the manga, and for me, I'm at a point in the manga where, like, the story's gone in a direction that I kind of just don't care about. So I keep thinking I'm going to drop it, and I never do. There's a few manga that I'm doing that with where I'm like, are you going to get anywhere? Are you going to change it up and do something else? I just want to know. This, I was kind of waiting to see what this would be like. I was thinking more of being like, this is an old man father, and his daughter comes home every so often, but also there's this thing of like, no, she's trying to get home all the time, and she doesn't get a chance to all the time, but then eventually she can come home. And you're like trying to see what's going on there. And I thought, well, I want to see what the translation is like. I want to see how this adapts. It adapts pretty well. But because I'm losing interest in the manga, makes me feel like I'm kind of losing, that I've lost interest in this. I'm like, well, if I'm losing interest in this, then why should I keep watching it? So I have it all waiting for me, but not really getting there. And I might not ever get there, so move on. Bo Shoku no Berserk. They've really changed the look of Berserk. It's definitely a very different looking series now. No, I did not watch this. I didn't watch the thing about Fate Graffite and his skill being gluttony. I have no idea what this is. I hope you enjoyed it. Bullbuster. This is not what I thought it was going to be, because I thought I saw mecha, but then I saw this and I'm like, oh, we're going to have, like, especially the very different designs of the character faces, right? And I'm like, this will be comedic. And yes, it is. It is also serious, and it is a little frustrating to watch with the idea that, you know, hey, we're a company and we're failing and we're trying to fix this problem. But at every, like, the amount of things that are happening in this show that don't make sense bother me. First up, like a mecha show where it's like, oh, you're owned by this, you're a mecha, or you're not a mecha company, right? You're a construction company that now just has mecha, and you're owned by a chemical corporation, a very big one, that has agreed to work with you on figuring out, keeping you afloat and helping you, like, do the thing that you need to do because there's something terrible going on this island, and you're trying to stop it from happening. And I love that. I love the setting of it, and I love, like, the kind of, like, we're going to keep this nature real tight. Die Guard was a comedy mecha show about the lowest budget whatever, but it was invaders from space. I still don't know how this ends because I haven't watched the rest of it. I'm only about, like, 2/3 of the way through the series. But the fact that this is one of the first things that happens in the series is that the chemical corporation, the guy who, like, operates it, has a shitty attitude, and he's a terrible boss, and he's, like, just miserable altogether. And they go to him, it's like, hey, we need you to, like, we're bringing you some samples back or doing whatever. And he's like, oh, you bring back dead whatevers. We can't do anything about that. You guys are useless. I don't like you. All these kind of things. And I'm just like, like, at some point, somebody further up the chain, like the boss's boss's boss, they know what's going on, and they need to try to protect or prevent or whatever, right? And I don't know if this all works out in the wash. If it turns out to be a thing, don't tell me if it is. If it turns out to be a thing that's like, oh, the chemical corporation caused the problem in the first place. Maybe that's what actually happened. We'll find out. And they're trying to cover it up and make it look good by using this construction company to do a terrible ass job. But I'm like, but the whole problem is that the things that are on the island that the mecha people are trying to take care of are dangerous to other people. And you can't just be like, well, we're going to cover it up by doing a shitty job. I'm like, you cover it up by doing a really good job, and you're not doing a really good job. You're doing a really shitty job, and you're choosing to do that, which means that doesn't make sense either. And I'm like, ugh, if that's what's happening, and I don't know yet, because again, if there's another mystery to uncover here, we haven't found it yet. The show's interesting, and it's sad, and it's funny in parts, and it at least everyone feels like, at least the people who we're seeing on screen right now, they feel like real people. They feel like individual characters, and there's an impact to be had there. And I understand the position that a lot of people are in this show. So I'm like, they've made it very relatable. But it's a bit of a hard watch because it is watching people struggle, and I'm like, I didn't want to watch this kind of struggle. I wanted to watch a different kind of struggle that's more, oh, we're struggling, but we're struggling in a funny way, and this is struggling in a heartbreaking way. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I really wanted that or not. It's a good show, though. In terms of shows that, like, recent shows that have caught me off guard and been a thing that I didn't expect it to be that really impressed me, this Odd Taxi gets ahead of this. Odd Taxi is a show I did not see coming and really enjoyed for like really unique, interesting characters. This show not as good in characterization, I think, as that other show. It is a different kind of show, though. I know that just came out of nowhere, but my neurons just said, "Hey, these things are kind of the same, aren't they?" I'm like, "Oh, maybe. I don't know. We'll move on." Bullbuster was good. I liked it. Buta no liver wa kanetsushiro. Yeah. Unappealing otaku awakens the body of a pig after he passes out while eating raw pig liver. He finds himself in the company of a hottie. Hottie can read his mind. He's just an asshole, though, but that's okay because she's going to eat him someday. And now we have a thing we're going to do together. I don't know. I didn't watch this. Seeing Rock Pusher says, this is a lot better than I was anticipating. Okay. Good to hear. I did not watch this. Captain Tsubasa, Season 2, Junior Youth Hen. I'm not a sports guy usually, and I did not watch this. Dead Mount Death Play Part 2. Nope. Dog Signal. He's a dog. Anyway, Dog Signal. I did not watch this. I don't know why. I think I kind of didn't really care. I mean, the dogs will be cute and stuff. I didn't speak to me, maybe. Anyway, didn't watch that. Dr. Stone New World Part 2. Man, Boichi just does Boichi goes hard. My God. Yeah. Did not watch Dr. Stone New World Part 2. I've got some of Part 1 kept up still that I need to go watch. We talked about Dr. Stone previously. If you want to know my thoughts about that, it's better to go back and watch the thing where I kind of went on about Dr. Stone for about like 15 minutes, it felt like. But suffice to say, there's something about the formula that I don't enjoy as much as I want to because I want it to be something different. And hey, that's not my fault, right? And that's not the mangaka's fault. That's just two ships that sailed completely different routes in this one. So that's cool. Moving on. Furikuri Shugeis Shoegaze. I did not watch this. I hope people who enjoy Furikuri enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the other one that came out recently too. Goblin Slayer 2. Don't watch that. Moving on. Hametsu no Okoku. Did not watch this either. So I'll move on from that. Hikikomari. That's cute. Hikikomari Kyuketsuki no Monmon. I think it's a vampire thing. Yes, Kyuketsuki. I'm learning words. It's so good. All right. No, I didn't watch this either. Again, lots of, I mean, not a lot, but, just these are people's names, and then, Commander of, I don't care. I don't care. Don't care. Moving on. Hoshikuzu Telepath. Ooh, yeah. I read this. I read a bit of this on Dynasty Scans, which is my, or Dynasty Reader, which is my favorite place to go find Yuri manga. This is, I forgot that I was reading it on there because I know this is Stardust Telepath, and so I saw Hoshikuzu Telepath and didn't quite click for me for whatever reason. And also, I didn't notice that she's carrying a great big ass rocket. So when I was originally looking at this a while ago, I didn't know if I was going to watch it or not because I'm like, it could be a thing. It's just cute girls doing cute things. And then when I realized, wait, this and that are the same, and I kind of like the manga, I'm like, I will start watching this to see what the adaptation is. The adaptation is good. It is good. I've watched, I think, 3 or 4 episodes of it. I like it. I have not gone back to watch more. It is not a show that has gotten me excited about watching more, but I don't think that means that it's bad. I just think that I haven't had the mood for it, and it's good, right? Like, this is not going to be like, it's like kind of like a 7 out of 10. And I'm like, there's a lot of stuff that is 7 out of 10 that you can enjoy, a 7 out of 10, whatever. I'm like, this is good. This is all right. So yeah, it's as Elemental Haven points out, the girl is permanently on the verge of having a heart attack. Yes, our friend here, Umika. That's kind of the downside of it, is that you do wish that Umika would realize she's making friends and starts to feel more comfortable about it. But that's part of growth, right? That it's like she can't just make a friend and then make a second friend and then be like, I'm good now, right? Like, it's like that doesn't happen. Like I was in high school and I had like 2 or 3 good friends that I had. After kind of like losing all my friends going into junior high school, they all just ended up doing their own thing and going to other places. I didn't understand why. I was like, I thought we were all friends, and they're all like, we're all doing our own thing and hanging out with whomever. I'm like, I thought you're supposed to stay friends and keep doing things because you've made friends now. And it's like, you just meet other people and you start hanging out, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I spent like a year without like having friends that I would hang out with to go do things with in junior high. And then in like second year of junior high, I made some pretty good friends, and they actually remained my friends throughout high school, which was awesome. And that's, but it was only like a few. And how important that is, right? To being like, you can have your little group of friends and do funny stuff and go out and do whatever and feel confident when you're with them because you're used to that idea. But talking to anybody else, if you have any sort of social anxiety or just discomfort with interacting with people outside of that, you will probably find that you don't warm up to people as easily, or that you have a hard time understanding other people or doing those kind of things. I'm like, yeah, I got to remember that, like, this can be that kind of thing that you're like, I have a friend. I know I have a friend now, but now if I'm going to make other friends, it's going to take a while to get used to that. I'm like, yeah, it can take people a while to get used to that kind of thing. I have to be more accepting of the way a fictional character is written, I guess. These poor fictional girls. Okay, anyway, I'm hoping to watch the rest of it at some point, but I seem to be taking it slow. So we'll move on. Hypnosis Mike, Division Rap Battle, Rhyme Anima Plus. I did not watch the first one, didn't watch this one. Kage no Jitsu Ryokusha ni Naritakute. Season 2nd. No, did not watch this, because didn't watch the first one. Kami Arabi. Interesting art style, didn't care. When I read the thing and kind of was like, but I don't care, so I move on. Kamanohashi Ron no Kindansuri, or Kamanohashi Ron's Forbidden Mysteries? Forbidden Deductions? What was it? Forbidden Deduction? This is... Okay, I liked this. And then something happened. And I've been like, man, why the fuck did we do that? What was the point in doing any of that? And the point was, well, we need to add a twist to this by the end of the season. And I don't know if they do it, if there's a manga that this is based on, they do it in the manga too, but it's like, we need to add a twist to this to make it so much more important. And yeah, Gibbous says, I wanted to like the series so much, and then they had to do the thing I warned you about. Yeah. Gibbous, if you're thinking the same thing that I did, which they did like about the second or second episode from the end or whatever, I was like, I am not happy with, and it's the thing, it's not a mystery thing they did. It's not like a personal relationship thing or whatever. It's just a stupid background, historical, semi-historical, non-historical, stupid goddamn thing that they did, because they thought, well, we can't just have this thing be on its own. We better do something to twist it, and fuck the twist right in the eye. I hate that detective shows feel like they have to do this kind of bullshit. Nobody got fridged, don't worry, but man, it just, ugh. Heather likes it though. She wants to keep watching the series, and I'm like, yes, I will keep watching the series with you for as long as I can take this kind of thing. And maybe it won't matter as much, and maybe it'll be okay. But if we hit a point where I'm like, I'm sick of watching this thing play out, then I'm just gonna do that. We're just gonna be done. So yeah. Oh, it gets worse, does it? God damn it. Well, I'm gonna watch it anyway, and I guess I'll look forward to it. Moving on. Kanojo season 2. Man, that lady has a rack. Oh my god. I see why they put her in the back. She would be on a whole different focal plane. She'd have to stand further back. Anyway, I didn't watch the last season. I didn't watch this season. And so we move on. Kawagoe Boys Sing. Nope, didn't watch this. Moving on. Keiken zumi na kimi to keiken zero na ore ga otsukiai. That's what was wrong. Otsukiai suru hanashi. Ryuto Kashima, gloomy introvert, likes the popular girl. Wait, no, he says, hey, wait, should we date? And she's like, yeah, we should. Because there is that thing of where the cute girl in school sometimes never gets approached by anybody to date. And so she doesn't know why that's happening. It's because everybody else is thinking, man, she's way out of my league. I'm assuming that's where that happens. But, oh, is it? Oh, God, Rock Pusher, that sounds so good. A rom-com where the leads communicate with each other. Oh, I love those. I love those so much. Maybe I should go back and watch an episode or two of it. It just seemed kind of, from the reading of it, felt a little bit by the numbers. But you know what? I'm kind of on board with that. So yeah. Maybe I'll watch an episode or two of it. Not really feeling a push to. We'll see what happens. But I mean, that's the thing that I liked about Kimi ni Todoroke, right? Is that it starts where you're like, it's a high school romance. You can tell that's what's going on here. But then it kind of lays itself out to be like, well, wait, the girl, Sawako is, she doesn't think that she's in love with Kazehaya in Kimi ni Todoroke. She thinks that she admires him because he is her antithesis, right? That it's like, he is popular and well-spoken and can communicate with other people and is very at ease with a lot of people, and everybody seems to like him, and he brightens the room when he walks into it and all those kind of things. And she just wants to be more like him. And she's kind of been like hard bullied because she's very gloomy kind of girl. And yeah, that's what makes Kimi so good, is that there's a growth that she goes through too, where she goes from being like, I like this boy because I want to be more like him. I want to learn how to be more like him too. I like this boy because I like the way he makes me feel. I like this boy because I like this boy. And that was what was really nice about that. And that she was like, I don't understand what the social mores around this are, that I'm supposed to not talk to you when I'm having a problem, apparently, is the social more. So I know what I'll do. I'll actually just talk to you, and we'll actually have a conversation. And I'll be better at doing that than the boy is. And when that happens, it's like, right, then we see a shift in status, which is also, by the way, if you're ever watching improv comedy, that's the thing you don't think about, but when it happens, even sketch comedy does this too. And I could talk about Improv by Keith Johnstone. Swapping status is something that, if it invisibly happens in a scene, like you don't feel it, but you're enjoying the scene and you don't know why you're liking it so much more and more as it's going on. Swapping of status is the thing that can really heighten the comedic property of a scene, or even the dramatic property of a scene too. But there's that idea of like the master and the butler, right? There's a very simple idea of status, and so the idea is like, well, if the butler's supposed to be playing lower status, the master's higher status. The more that the master starts to erode his own status, or has his status eroded by the butler, and the butler becomes higher and higher status over the period of whatever, that's when the tension changes, and that's when you start to really enjoy those things more. And so that's in a romantic, high school romantic comedy as well, that can be the same thing. So if this has kind of that people talk to each other more when they're trying to get to know each other, maybe I'll watch that. I hope I'll like it better than Tonikaku, because I want Tonikaku to just come right out and say, she's from the fucking moon. So let her be from the moon. Let her be a descendant of somebody from the moon. Let her be the whole fucking moon. I don't let her be the moon on the earth. Like, I don't care at this point. Let her call the moon and crash it. Let something happen in that show. All I care is that something has to happen in that show that makes it worth it and interesting, and not about two people who clearly want to fuck each other but can't go so far as to do it. But you know what they can do is they can talk about the 198 different ways you can kiss somebody on the body, and all the different words all the different like words it gathers up in your head when you do it. Kiss someone on the third knuckle on their first finger. That means that you had ketchup on your eggs for lunch. Kiss them on the back of their knee. That means that you're busy looking around for a hairbrush. Like, I hated that fucking episode so much because I'm like, oh, we made up a bunch of bullshit, did we? Well, let's spread that. So anyway, I didn't watch this. Maybe I will. Moving on. Kibo no Chikara, Otana Precure 23. Oh, Adults as Precures. I hope you enjoyed that. I did not. I did not watch that. Kikansha no Maho Tokubetsu desu. Didn't watch this either. The kind of the shadow things. I don't really. Destruction Dragon, Boromir Napolitan. Somebody named Desir Herman. I don't know. He goes back in time. I don't give a shit. Whatever. I moved on. Kimi ni koto ga daisuki na hyakunin no kanojo. You're all gonna say it's really good. 3, 2, 1. Yes, here we go. A lot of you, I know, really like this. I did not watch this. Again, it doesn't sell itself here in a way that it's good. There's nothing about this or what I'm looking at that sells itself as being good at all. Oh, somebody didn't like it. Okay, great. But I have heard a lot of people in a lot of places say, this is way better than what you think it's supposed to be. And I'm like, that's not asking much. But apparently, from what I understand, is this isn't about the dude. This show is not about the dude at all. This is about learning who all the girls are and their relationship to him, but also but who they are as people and their relationship to each other, I guess, is also included in there. Again, I haven't watched this. And hearing that it's way better than it is, I'm like, well, then maybe I should look up the manga and read a bit about it. Like, I should give that a shot. And that might be what we do here. I don't know. I don't know if I want to, dump a couple half hours into watching a thing. Maybe I'll just read manga and I can get through the first few chapters and be like, am I actually getting somewhere or not? We'll see what comes up. But there you go. Oh, Bytecaster says, it is very anime. Wonderful. We'll move on. Kizuna no Alil, Season 2. Nope, didn't watch the first one. The main character's name is Miracle. That's, hey, do it. Konyaku haki sareta reijo hirotta ore ga ikenai koto o ikenai koto o oshie komu. Ellen Crawford is a misanthropic. I didn't watch this. I don't even know if I added this to I have it in the thing, but I'm like, I don't even think I added it to my list to try to watch it. Sounded like it's, a fun idea. She's exiled on false charges. He teaches her about how to live in the, he's eating ice cream for dinner, like that kind of thing. I'm like, all right, whatever. So, yes. Now, it is rare when I tell Heather there is a show that you need to watch, that we will watch together, because I cannot wait to watch this. You need to watch it. Just watch one with me. And that she will be like, well, let's watch the next one. And in fact, because this came out early, I had 4 episodes waiting. And I said, just watch the first one with me, because I need to know whether or not you're going to watch this with me or not. Because if we're going to watch it together, then I need to find out now, because I have episodes I want to watch of this. I am waiting to watch this. And she's like, okay, we'll watch it. And I'm like, great. We watched the first episode, and I'm like, what do you think? And she got all kind of like, play the second one. And I'm like, okay, let's play the second one. So we watched the second one. I'm like, oh, good. I think I got her. And then after that, I'm like, okay. So then she's like, well, let's watch the third one. I'm like, yes, yes. And I was like, oh, we got it. And Kusuriya no Hitori Goto. The Apothecary Diaries is top notch. It is pretty as hell. It is animated in places where you don't expect it to be animated. It's so weird. The opening song is a goddamn banger, and it's a lot of fun to watch. In fact, like if we're when we watch anime these days, I have to remember to change the match dynamic range and match frame rate. Make sure that that's on my Apple TV, because when it's smooth and everything's happening, it's like it's so good. And like the opening is great. The ending song is good as well. I'm not saying like I'm surprised by that, but I'm like, it's nice to have two of those things at the same time, right? It's very, very pretty. It's very interesting. And it is a medical procedural. And it's a mystery show. It's a mystery show is what it is more than anything else. And it's very compelling. And if they don't do the whole goddamn manga, and this is based on a light novel, but it's like if they don't do the whole show, then something has broken in the industry, because it just works like so. And they're up to like chapter 60 or 80 of one of the manga, right? And I'm just like, it just works so well. And if this was like, this gets you to read the manga, I'm like, well, what it should do is it should get you to make the second season is what it should get you to do. There should be, I should be going to the next season. Like when we go to winter on this one, Cour 2 should be waiting there, but it is not, right? It's because it's listed here. Holy shit, I didn't think they announced the second Cour. Okay, so there is 2 Cour. Thank Christ. There will have to be more than this, though. And there had better be more than this. This is so good this season. And if you didn't like it, that's fine. But I am ravenous about this show. Like when we get it, I'm like, we watch it and she's like, and Heather's like, yes, sit down. Like we get the food, sit down, we're eating, like, let's go. Right? It's like, yes. So I was like, I'm caught up on the manga. I will watch all this in anime form because it's just good. So yeah. Anyway, let's keep moving on. Well, catharsis, yes! Mahotsukai no Yome, Season 2, Part 2. So for people who have never seen the Ancient Magus's Bride, if you have not read that, if you have not seen this, the first episode is going to make you think, shit, no, I don't want to, no. Like, if you're like, I can't get over the fact that she's like 15 years old in the story, and Elias as they call him in the show, but Elias Ainsworth buys her at auction because of her magical abilities. She's at a mysterious auction or something, and it's like, God damn, yeah, why'd you buy it? Well, I bought you because I don't know how to be human, but also because I figured it would be nice to have a wife. And then she's like, what does that mean? And it's like, hey, I've just lost all of you out there who don't know about this show, right? You're like, oh, well, that sounds like it sucks, Beej. Like, get bent. And I'm like, there's nothing prurient about this show. There's nothing about their relationship that even is like a husband and wife, like initially. What their relationship grows into is very much, it's very much two life partners. And if that's, newlywed husband and wife, then it's not. It's about two people who realize that they need each other for different things, and they're trying to learn how to be with each other and to live in the world that they live in. And that's really great. This is the college arc. What we're looking at here, Season 2, Part 2. Season 2 is the college arc. And I was initially, when I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, did we run out of, there's so many fairies and dragons and like the fae and mysterious monsters, all this shit is happening in Europe, and it's like there's so much of that there, which is a lot of fun, because if you're even just a little piece interested in a lot of that, especially in like the UK, and if you read Terry Pratchett, you're interested in the fairies and the fae and all that, I'm pretty sure. There's all that to hang your hat on. So why are we going to high school? Like, why are we doing that? Doesn't seem like it should be important. Like, doesn't seem like there's a reason to do that. What's lovely about Season 2, and it is 24 episodes. It's a Season 2, Part 1, and Season 2, Part 2. What's lovely about it, I think, is that it's another chance to see how does Chisei, who kind of got run out of school as a young girl, that nobody liked her, like there's all these creepy things about her, whatever people were saying, right? She ends up with no friends in that way. she spent so much time now with Elias and with other people and with big adult problems for like a 15-year-old, 16-year-old girl. Big adult problems. What happens if you put her into an environment where she's part of a school, but also the school, the college itself, like it has students of all like different age levels in there and ability levels. The college is for sorcerers. She's a mage, right? She's not Mahotskai, right? She's not a sorcerer. And in this universe, those two things are very different things. And it's a great way to paint what sorcerers are like, what the sorcerer world is like, versus how they understand what mages are and how mages will relate to that as well, and how different they are. Like a great way to underline how different your character is to expose them to people that are different from them, even though that she's trying to get along with all these people and they're kind of trying to get along with her too. And it's really it's really nice. It's really lovely to watch. And there is a big problem. There are big problems like that happen that, it's like we have to solve this big problem. And you also get the sense of, well, but you've introduced a lot of adults in this story too, that there's way more adults around all the time and they have their ability and the things that they can do. And so what's happening here and why are these things happening and what are the abilities of everyone to actually make a difference here? And what happens when you are a young adult and you are on the verge of becoming a proper adult, like turning 18, 19, 20? What happens when that's coming? And the adolescence to post-adolescence, right? There's a lot of that kind of metaphor, and it's not subtle. There's a lot of that metaphor happening as well. And yeah, I came out of the college arc, which they've just kind of finished in manga as well. I came out of the college arc feeling like this was a really good choice. And it is, as has been said in chat here, the college arc is long. It is a long arc. I don't think it was a bad choice for the story. Then again, that's because I was happy to accept it, even though that I was like initially like, I don't like this idea at all. Why do we have to go to school? As it starts kind of going through the thing, I'm like, oh, I actually kind of get why we are going to school. Oh, I kind of get why we're doing things this way. Oh, I like the fact that we didn't go to high school. We went to a college. And the fact that there's so many, and Bytecaster points out, lots of good character work. There's so much good character work in season 2 in the college arc, because lots of characters have to show up, and they all have to have their own personalities, and they all have to have their own backstories, and they all have to relate to what Chisei is doing in school as well. I recommend this wholeheartedly. Let's move on. Megumi no Daigo, Kyukoku no Orange, Firefighter Daigo. I had to stop. This looks so interesting. And I had to stop. Because I didn't know what point the creators were trying to make with it. I didn't realize that this is a sequel to anything. Oh, wait, no, because Wait, is it? Kajiba no Baka Yaro. I didn't realize it was a sequel. I guess if I'd seen the original, maybe I would have cared more. Orange is a sequel with different characters. Okay. I would have probably liked this more than maybe giving up on it the way that I did is because I'm in like episode 4 or 5 or whatever, and I'm just like, I should have maybe watched the first season. So now that we're in a new situation in my brain, let's talk about this. The main character's Take Daigo, but weirdly, Onoda Shun is our view into this series more than Daigo is. Shun's the one who Shun they want to join the Tokyo Rescue Team, which is very hard to join. And you have to be a great firefighter first, and then you have to like get recommended, I think, to this. It doesn't really matter what you have to do. You get in there, and they Daigo's really good, but it's clear that he's really good because it seems like he's been training to do this all his life, even though he seems like he's quite young. Onoda Shun he can't quite keep up with Daigo, and he hates that. Daigo is the first one who gets placed as a Tokyo Rescue person, I think, or whatever. But there's a couple moments in the series that like really like kind of hit me in the chest where I was like, oh, I didn't like that. One is during the training where the guy who is training them, he's like the police sergeant or lieutenant or whatever he is. He's he's like, he makes them like do that thing where you put your like there's a two walls near each other, and then you put your hands on the wall and you put your feet on the wall, and you're supposed to do that so you can like climb up or you can climb down safely or whatever. But it's definitely ninja work, right? It's like not the safest way to ascend or descend anything. And he has the team of 5 that he's with, which is these 3 plus 2 others who, let's not give a shit about them for the time being. He has the 5 of them stand there, like get in a line on the wall and like holding themselves in place. So like, because it's like a deep trench. It doesn't matter what these places are. They just are a place that exists in a training ground. And he's doing the same thing. The sergeant's doing the same thing. And he's yelling at these young people that it's like, you guys don't know what it's like to have to do hard work, and you need to put in all this hard work. And so, you know, we're gonna have all of our meetings this way from now on. You're basically, I'm gonna burn your muscles out completely on holding one position with a lot of stress and a lot of strain. I'm gonna basically do what I can to fuck you up royally, you know, but I'm gonna pretend that this is for your own good, because that's how I read it. That's how I saw it happening. Is like, I'm doing a very dangerous thing to you, rather than actually, you know, training you to do something in a way that it would actually be helpful. Even just the idea of like, they had them run from place to place, like in a square. It's like run from one point to another point in a square at full tilt, and then stop and line up immediately. And then you get like 3 seconds rest, and then you run to another point in a square, and then everybody has to stop and line up immediately. That kind of thing. Yeah, it's Earth and One. It's the shonen training problem. It's a thing of like, I'm going to have you do these remarkable things. And all these 5 people that keep falling off the wall and falling off the wall and falling off the wall. And like, Daigo's the only one who's left with the other dude. And then he finally like, he not that he lets go, he runs out of steam as well, and he collapses, but he's the last one in the group of all of them to do it. And the sergeant, who's clearly a superhuman, he's some sort of plus ultra or whatever the fuck. He's like, all right, cool. And he drops down. He's like, great. It's been like 25 minutes, you know, like whatever. Cool. We're going to do this all the time now. And you guys will thank me later. And of course they will, because they've grown to love you, because that's, you know, that's how it works, I guess. That bugged me, because I'm like, they literally have people at the end talking about how, hey, if the media come by with the Tokyo Fire PR team to talk to you guys, nobody talked to them. Only we're going to be talking to them, because we want to, you know, we have to put on a good show to show that, you know, we've cleaned up our act about how the firefighting organization works. And then later on, there's 2 mysterious figures standing up in a tower who are talking about how, oh, they need to be ready to, you know, they'll all need to be ready to save this country someday. And we know that because the first episode opens, the first 3 minutes of the first episode are a massive 9.0 earthquake hits all of Japan, and so all the firefighters need to come out and save people. And oh my god, it's amazing and crazy, and isn't that astounding? And I was like, okay, I see where we're going to end up, because that's what we're supposed to happen. And let's go back in time and see how we're going to get there. And I'm like, sure, fine. And I'm like, I'm reading this as seinen anime. Like, I get that it's supposed to be, you know, people doing remarkable things. In like the 5th episode, Daigo shows up on the scene, and they're trying to save a man who's been trapped under a big slab of concrete, and they put because a thing blew up. It doesn't matter. They put one of those mighty mats, the pneumatic ones, where you slide a thing underneath, and you use the air to basically inflate the mat and to help lift the thing off the ground. It can lift like up to 300, 400 pounds, right? But of course, it's a big slab of concrete. There's no way it's going to be able to lift that, but at least it keeps it from like falling down further. And they realize that the guy they're trying to get out, his arm is actually pierced with a piece of rebar, and it's being held onto the ground, and that's why they can't pull this guy out. They need to send somebody in there to cut the rebar so that they can actually pull this guy out. And nobody can get in there because nobody's small enough. Actually, you know who is small enough? Her. She's small enough to do it, but she's not on the rescue team or anything else. She's having to serve time as a normal firefighter in whatever else. I'm like, you know, if you were thinking ahead, guys, you wouldn't just have one like 8 people all the same goddamn size in your team. You'd have people of different sizes to do different things because you'd be thinking about how, oh, sometimes I need a person who's really good at entering tight spaces to affect saving somebody or whatever, right? It's like no. They're just why would you ever do that? So in any case, the biggest dude on the team, Daigo. Which one of these is Daigo? I think this is Daigo. That doesn't matter. They all look the same at this point, right? They're all drawn the same anyway. They're all wearing the orange things. So Daigo, he's like, oh, I can save him, and then he pops his own shoulder out of its socket so that his arm can hang loose, and then he can like fit in the crevice. And then when he gets in there, he slams his shoulder back into the thing, and I'm like, hey, I remember when Mel Gibson did that in Lethal Weapon. That's a thing that's been around for years. I didn't think that was cool then, and I don't think it's cool now. It's supposed to show what a loose cannon you are. It's supposed to show how you don't give a shit about yourself. And what it also shows is that he says he's going to do this thing. He's going to get in there and save the guy. And I'm like, so let's see. You've popped your shoulder in and out of your socket multiple times. That's how you know you can do this. So you are a highly trained firefighter, incredibly strong, incredibly good, supposedly smart. You show up to a site, intentionally injure yourself to a degree where you can't use one of your limbs, so you can volunteer to crawl into a space to when you might not be able to actually affect any change, basically to plug up that hole with your body to make it difficult for anybody else to come along and help. I'm like, so you're putting yourself in danger. That's supposed to show how cool and reckless you are and how you help make a difference and how that's all firefighters need to be. Is that the lesson I'm learning from this? And I was like, man, fuck this show. And we moved on. MF Ghost, A Future Beyond Initial D. It definitely looks like Initial D. I don't really like Initial D, and I wasn't really interested in watching a racing show. So we'll move on again. Migi Todali looks creepy, a little bit. Not really interested in it, so I did not watch it. We'll move on. Nanatsu no Taizai, the Mokushiroku no Yonkishi. I did not watch that. Is this the Seven Deadly Sins? Is this another thing of it? I guess. Anyway, there we go. So moving on some more. Ojo Tobanken-kun. So I watched an episode or 2 episodes of this. No, I watched the first episode of this. I dropped it because I just didn't feel interested in it. It didn't make the kind of impact I think I wanted to make for me. And so I was like, and so I just kind of was like, and I walked away from it. Overtake, F4 Racing, a series I don't know anything about. It's interesting, but not that interesting to me. I didn't really want to watch it, so I didn't watch that either. Paradox Live, the animation, didn't watch that either. Potion Danomi de Ikinobimasu. I will survive using potions. Heather and I both watched this. And isekai are hard watches sometimes, right? Because you never know what's going to happen. And I think it's all everyone looks like a bean person. They're all very cute, but some of them are like supposed to be fully grown adults. Except for her, she's the goddess. Anyway, the way they sculpt her in the series for her statue, though, is great. Because it doesn't look anything like this. So when Kaoru there, the main character, starts making like potion bottles and stuff that are shaped like the goddess, and she looks like an anime figure, it's very funny. Yes, as Bytecaster says, the other thing about isekai is you know exactly what's going to happen, and this is just that kind of thing. I think Fuse is the one who does the artwork for this, or are they the same person who did like the illustration art or whatever for this is the same one who did it for saving 80,000 gold coins in my retirement, I think. And the show doesn't look this illustration doesn't look exactly the same as what the other one, and it's fine. It's just about having an incredibly overpowered thing. I can make any potion in any bottle, and the bottles can be any size, any shape, and they can be made out of anything. And the potions can be any type of potion. They can do whatever they want. Also, she has a second cheat ability that you forget most of the time, but her other cheat ability is she can understand any language. And it's like, yeah, this is stupid, but it's cute and laid back. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll read it. And I read it. I'm like, the manga anyway. I'm like, yeah, this is whatever. This is fine. This is cute. It's brain off kind of stuff. So I had to watch the anime. I'm like, it's a good adaptation. It's a good adaptation of a cute, funny thing. It's it's fine. So yeah, I did watch it, and I had a good time watching it. If they made more of it, cool. I don't think they should. I don't think you should bother. It's a good show. I don't think you should bother making more. Whatever. Moving on. Ragnar Crimson. I did not watch this. Wasn't really interested in it. Saihate no Paladin Tetsu Sabi no Yama no O. Second season of this. Yeah. Yeah, didn't watch this. I had it marked as a maybe, I guess, but I did not watch it. Seijo no Maryoku wa Banno desu. Season 2. The Saint's power is omnipotent. Oh, Faraway Paladin's good. Thank you for letting me know. This is cute and fun, and it is another isekai, but it is a little different. I mean, obviously the idea is that, oh well, you know, they summoned the saint, they summoned her, but they actually summoned two girls at the same time by accident, and Heather and I think we had to rewatch a bit of the first season, or we ended up rewatching all the first season just to get caught up on what was going on again, so we could watch the second season. And it's fun. I mean, it's Sei is an office worker in her 20s. She gets summoned to the other world. She's not believed to be the saint. And so it's just a very, I see that Confracto says Saint season 1, episode 2 is way too slow for me to continue. Yeah, this is a slow show. You have to be happy with the fact that this is going to take some while to play out. And it is romantic as well, a little bit. And it's just kind of nice. We both really liked it because we just kind of like, this is kind of like a, hey, new episode of The Saint. It's like, all right, let's sit down and watch it. It means a different thing now, I guess, than it did back in the 60s. And so, yeah, we both really like this, and we're glad to watch it. And it ended with a fin. So season 2, I think, is like, it's not going to they're not going to make more of it, I think. I think it's just kind of done. It's slow, and we liked it that way. So, yeah. Moving on. Shangri-La Frontier, I did not watch that. Moving on. Shy, I am halfway through. I like it well enough. I don't like it a lot. It's I don't think it's my thing, despite the fact I was hoping it would be. But I read the manga again on Dynasty Scans, expecting this to be a Yuri series. I think it has like hints of it, but expecting it to be a certain type of thing. Didn't really go where I expected it to be. It got too serious too fast, I think, in the manga. And so I thought I'll watch the anime and see what the adaptation is like. I like the adaptation. I think it's an excellent adaptation. I think that, like, good for them for doing this. I got further in it as a result, but also it's not lighting me on fire to come back and watch more of it. It is an interesting idea that basically every country seems to have their own superhero. But that means that people have, like, Japan's superhero is Shy. She doesn't really know what her power is overall. England's superhero, I think, is Stardust. Spirit, what's a great name for her. I thought she was well done. She's Russia's superhero, and you know that because she's blonde, blue-eyed, and drunk all the time. That's why her name is Spirit. No, it isn't. It's actually because her power has to do with that, too. She's Switzerland's hero. She's Black something or other. And she's she's a healer. And then this is Unilord, and she is the one who lives up in space on the space station and kind of keeps everybody working together on stuff. And she's fun and cute. They give her extra kind of homey personality stuff to go with the fact that she's also just in charge of things. I don't know. It was fun. I'd say watch a few episodes, see if you like it or not. And the fact is that you might watch 2 episodes and be like, oh yeah, I like this series, and watch 2 more and be like, what the shit? I'm like, yeah. That's kind of feels like, why is this show like this? And like, I don't know why it's like this. I don't know what the idea of it is. Like, it feels, I guess it's the thing. It feels a little aimless. Like, it feels like it wants to do big things, but it also feels like it wants to be little things too. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know about it because I think I want it to be something different. I will try to finish it just for the sake of them being able to finish it. But when I say things like that, I always don't do that. So it might not even happen. Okay. Oh, we are getting 28 episodes of this. Oh my God. That's so weird. 26, 25, sometimes even 24, right? But 28. Oh, so strange. So, 118 episodes of manga, or chapters of manga. They got a lot to draw on if they want to do that. Whoever it is that invented this, they got it right. They did something right. This is not an isekai. This is just a straight up fantasy. Go defeat the Demon King. The story does not actually start until after they've defeated the Demon King, and after, and really after, the human members of the party die, and the long-lived members of the party continue to live on. And Frieren is one of them. She's an elf mage. And her story is very interesting. And so you'll look at this and you'll say to yourself, oh, it's Hoshinoduri from Nadeshiko, right? Light purple hair, got that white, especially from, she's from the movie, right? She's got the white cape thing going on and everything, with the black underneath, and she's got zero affect. That's not Frieren. Frieren is, she's kind of this face all the time. But you gotta understand that she's also an elf that's been living for many, many years. I'm not gonna say how many, and don't say so in chat either. People need to experience the show to learn about Frieren, I think, more in that respect, to know about that. She's got a lot of different personality. Like there's lots of things to her that show different. She is a personality. Like she is like, you know, like I'm not an outgoing person. That's Frieren is not an outgoing person at all. But the first episode lays some things out that you don't expect, because it takes place much later. Like I say, the humans in the party die, right? Himmel, the hero, you'll learn more about Himmel, and that's the whole point of the show, actually, is you learn more about Himmel as the things go on. It's not a story about Himmel, it's a story about Frieren, but Himmel played a important part of Frieren's story. And getting to learn more about Himmel elves don't shed tears over their lost loved ones kind of idea, right? We've kind of all have that sense of that. It's like, you know, oh, well, life is a natural process. You're born, you live, you die. That's how it is. Himmel passes away, and she realizes that she spent all this time with this man, you know, this adventure that she went on. And then the adventure was over, and she's like, see ya. And she just left, and she just went away. And she came back much later, and she caught up with him when he was much older. And then, even then, she just kind of like, you know, I remember you. I remember what things were like. Like a blink of an eye has passed for her, but he's in his 80s. And then he dies. And she's there, and she realizes, she's like, there's so much I didn't know about him. Why didn't I know those? Wait, the reason I didn't know those things about him is because I actually never thought to stop and ask him about those things. I could have learned more about him if I'd put in the time. That's the first episode, and that's where the adventure starts, and that's what makes it such a great show. Because it's like she had all that time, and she was doing like very little like of it, connecting with other people. She was just doing the things that she likes to do, that she's been spending hundreds of years doing anyway, right? This person made such an impact on her that she realized that part of her, that there was something in her that she hadn't seen for forever, like that she'd never realized was important. And then she felt it was important, and so she went ahead and she's going forward from that to be like, I need to understand people better, or I need to understand things better. And so she comes up with an idea for a quest ultimately that she will get some solace from, which is great. And the show is funny. It is very funny. And it's not funny all the time, because it's the bits of humor are what help break up the drama. It's not a melodrama. It's an adventure. Like it says right here, it's an adventure, drama, fantasy, right? But like, it's not melodramatic. It's just a show about a person who meets other people, and then as part of her adventure, and that kind of moves along better, and it's very introspective, and it's really lovely. Um, like this captures that, right? And life goes on for an elf mage just beginning to learn what living is all about, and she does. And I think I'm up to like episode. Heather and I are both watching. This is another one of the things that we watched this season where it was like, more of this, yeah, more of this. Can we take it? Yeah, I think we can take it. And then we watch more of it. So this was excellent, excellent. You should be watching this, and you should be watching the Apothecary Diaries. But if you're read or watched this or whatever, and you're like, I can't do more of it, or I can't get into it right now, or I can't do whatever, I understand. Meanwhile, Spy Family season 2. This was great. They worked in the cruise ship expedition. I thought the cruise ship would have been a great movie. Actually, I think it would have been almost better as a movie. Would have been more. There would have been. It was already good. I feel that it would have had more impact as a movie because it's meant to be like this 3-day trip on a cruise ship, and there's like the Yoru is kind of, she's really the more she's the more central character in how this is going. But I think as half of the season, it was really fun. And Seven Nonsense Cruise Ship was fun in the manga. Absolutely was very fun in the manga. Really enjoyed it too. Really good of the mangaka, I think, to like, let's pick a setting and a situation and a means for the characters to do things that takes them out of their current environment and is a temporary situation. It's something that can be, you're doing this thing, and then when you're done, it's over now. It's not a thing of either even we'll travel to a different city in Ostania, like on vacation or whatever. It's like literally, let's lock you on a ship. That's another way to do that. And yeah, very clever, really well animated. And I mean, the opening and the ending are both great, both a lot of fun too, visually and musically. In fact, as I had pointed out to me at Desert Bus, I think by Kusunoki, the opening is done by Yoko Kanno in the seatbelts, and I'm like, hell yeah, that was great. I had no idea. Animated by Yuasa? Was that who did it? Masaaki? God, there's just, yeah. The opening credits are so good because we watch and we're like, what is happening? Why are we doing this? It is Masaki Yuasa. Thank you, Julian. But yeah, the opening credits are just like, oh, what? Why did we pick this as a way to do it? Because we just had the previous ones of driving in the car and the beautiful lighting and everything else, and of like the previous intros. I'm like, right, but all the intros and outros of Spy Family so far have been different takes, slightly different style takes every single time. A lot of them are very imagination based. Obviously, both the opening and the ending in for Spy Family this season are both very imagination based. And yeah. So anyway, top notch, really good stuff. Moving on. Tate no Yusha no Nariagari. So this is Rise of the Shield Hero. Is it wrong to enslave girls in a dungeon? I didn't move on. I read this far in the manga and was like, because I'm trying to find things to hang my hat on with this thing, and it's kind of compelling. And then I reached a point, I'm like, I can't do this to myself anymore. So we move on. Tearmoon Teikoku Monogatari Dan Toldai Kara Hajimaru Hime no Tensei Gyakuten Story. Didn't watch this. Moving on. The Idolmaster Million Live. Didn't watch that. Toaru Osa no VR MMO Katsudoki. And Isekai, where nobody dies to get there. This is another VR MMO story. I'm reading this because it's like Isekai Nonban Noka. Isekai Nanban Noka? Is that what it's called? Tearmoon is funny, Jibis says. All right. I didn't really grab me the synopsis, but anyway. This is like the that middle-aged man adventure in a VR MMO. It's very by the numbers, and it's very as travelogue Maybe if I hadn't seen Bofuri, I would have liked this, but it felt too bland for me. That's the other thing, Travelog. It is bland. It is. If Harry Potter could be about a VR MMO, that's this. And I'm not a fan of Harry Potter, but I like this all right. But it is like this guy starts playing this game. He's 38 years old. Doesn't really matter. He names his character Earth, which again doesn't matter. But that's just his name. He decides he wants to cook stuff, and he just wants to like make his own weapons and do stuff and just kind of fart around, not really join a party or do whatever. It's not a harem show, despite all the girls on the cover. It's just a. This is like a very wish fulfillment kind of. I'm playing this MMO, and I keep finding unusual ways to use the abilities in ways that nobody else has ever done. And as I start doing them, people start getting really blown away by that. That here I am, I'm an archer, and I'm trying not to let people know that I'm like I'm becoming extremely strong because I'm coming up with those different ways to be an archer. And yet that becomes a popular idea in the game, is that, hey, maybe pick up a bow and learn how to do this stuff. But he had to like kind of learn how to do all these other things in the game as well. And Bofuri is kind of like that too, right? Here's a character who's like, I'm going to put all my stuff into defense, and I'm going to start doing all these things that are defense related. And as I start doing those things, the game functions in such a way that makes me incredibly overpowered and do ridiculous shit. The only difference being that I'm a cute girl in one, and I'm an older guy in another. And the one where I'm a cute girl, nobody else is trying the same build that I am. And in this one, other people are trying to do the same things that he's doing, but nobody's really getting there. And I just like, it's funny, like because it's a manga and it's an anime, you do that thing where you're like, the game can just by playing this game and by doing this build or by acting this way or by having these weapons or by learning these certain things and having these skills, this unusual collection of skills or whatever, the devs thought ahead about how to implement all of this stuff, and then they hid it all in the game so that you would have no idea that these things were possible. And the devs are like, oh my goodness, they're doing all these amazing things that we didn't expect they would do. And I'm like, you spent, in order to make the thing in Bofuri that she's wearing, you had to spend like 2 fucking weeks modeling that. Like, you would have not just been like, oh, she just did a thing and what's happening? And it's like, you put it in the game. And it's the same kind of feel here, where it feels like the devs would have never let any of this happen in this way unless they were completely fine with it happening, this stuff, right? And on top of that, this is the Fairy Queen. You can tell because she has fox ears. Anyway, she's the Fairy Queen. She's an AI. And she's like spending time she knows she's in this world, and this is where she lives, and these people kind of come in and out of her world as things go. I'm spoiling a piece, this doesn't really matter, but she's an AI, and the devs didn't even know that what she wanted to do was when she faced off against Earth in a battle, and when Earth managed to beat her, because she's incredibly powerful, but he managed to figure out a way to beat her, that she submitted and was like, cool, well, here, I'm going to give you this ring, the Ring of the Fairy Queen, so that you can use this to, contact me anytime, and it has special powers or whatever, and that's like a bonus thing that you can have. But now that also meant that she's like, also, we're married in this game. But to her, she only lives in the game, so we're married, like we're married. And he's like, okay, I don't agree to any of that. And she's like, doesn't matter. That's what's happening now. And she shows up every so often to kind of hang out with him and do stuff. And she doesn't really make much of an impact. And yeah, it's odd. That was in the manga too. And the manga's way ahead of this, way ahead of where they are in the story here. But it's fine because it's all kind of like self-narrated. And I learned to do this, or then I went ahead and I went to go meet somebody else, and then I had a hard time. And it is that kind of thing of like, the reason why I say it's Harry Potter, but it's anime, is because it's like, oh, I had a hard time doing this thing, but then I went and I thought about something, or I did something, or I made something, and then I came back and I did it again, and this time I completely kicked ass at it, and I worked hard, but I got the achievement that I was supposed to get because it was laid out for me to begin with. And don't worry, the only reason why I'm having a hard time is because the mangaka realized I can't just be getting all the stuff that I want all the time. The author wants me to have these things, which is why they got set up for me to have them. And when I don't get to have something, don't worry, a very cool thing that only I will be able to have will come immediately after that, that only I will be able to do at that point. So, yeah, it's as what are he's like a Mary Sue. Well, we would say a Gary Stew is how we would say for men apparently. But yeah, I still think it's brain off. Like it's just kind of like brain off fuel, right? It's just like I just need to watch a thing that's just kind of goofy and whatever. And this is not a show that gets me excited enough to watch it all the time. It's just a thing that's there. So moving on. Tokyo Revengers, Tenjiku Hen. Didn't watch Tokyo Revengers or read it or know anything about it. It sure looks shonen as hell though. Umamusume Pretty Derby season 3. I did watch the first season. I watched a little bit of the second season. Didn't watch the whole thing, and therefore haven't watched the third season. Somebody did point out something very interesting though. Just recently, if you look at the kanji they use for horse in this world, it has two hooves spread kind of apart from each other. The kanji for horse in Japanese, like in the real world, has four hooves. So they took two of them out because horses only have two legs. And I'm like, all right, that's great that they did that. It's super weird. I'm glad they did though. So moving on. I will maybe watch this one day. I have no goddamn clue. Undead Unluck. I didn't watch this. I think this just hit Netflix or something. I didn't watch it. I will move on. Under Ninja. Didn't really care. I'll move on. Watashi no oshi wa Akuyaku Reijo. Watching this now. Trying to get caught up on finishing it. I was reading it, reading the manga for it. And it's, I guess, trying to read a lot of villainous manga recently, just because it was like Hamifura, what people call Bakarina, about Katarina Klaes, who, she's a bit of an idiot. She's an isekai thing, whatever. This is the same thing. I get sucked into my video game. Hamifura is like a lot of fun because it's real stupid. This is different. And I liked the manga well enough, but didn't continue to move on with it. I watched this and it was like, this is not bad. As an adaptation, I think it's probably pretty good. I think a lot of people probably watch it and really enjoy it. And I will finish watching it and watch the rest of it. I love the opening song. It's so good. I don't remember the ending song, whatever it is, but the opening song to this, absolutely, it's just like, it's so fun. So I should mention Freerun actually had a great opening and great ending, but if you're here from Rhythm Cafe, you already know that. So anyway, this and people in the manga, people in the chat, not the manga, in the manga of my stream, people in chat are saying how there is this great conversation in a middle episode, about fifth episode or something like that, where maybe it was later, fifth, sixth, whatever it was. The Misha, who is like her friend in the game. This is Ray Taylor. She's the protagonist who gets sucked into the game. She's supposed to end up with one of the three capture targets. These are the three boys back here, and she's like, no, she loves Claire. In the real world, she loved Claire. She thought Claire was amazing, and so she got when she got sucked into the game, she's like, I'm gonna try to woo Claire because Claire's awesome, but I know Claire isn't gay. She wants to end up with Prince Thane, so I'm gonna do my best to maybe point her in that direction. And this all leads to a moment for 2 or 3 minutes where there is a conversation where Misha and her and Lene, the four of them are all sitting. Lene is her maid. The four of them are sitting in their school, then this fucking high school. They just keep the Royal Magic Academy. It's like, it's all high school. It has lockable gates and people aren't allowed into it, and Calmaners are allowed in, and everyone's equal except they're not. And whatever, it doesn't really. Oh God, it gets to be a lot of the kind of social striations that they're trying to illuminate, and it's like, oh, and the student council. I'm sorry, the magical knights of the the goddamn academy are like, they're like the student council, and that they're an autonomous organization that runs things with an iron fist and does things the way that they want. And are there even teachers or like principals, or like, is this just Lord of the Flies? Like, it's like, yeah, that shit happens. And I'm just like, oh, we're doing this thing again, are we? We're not gonna try to be like, we want to give kids more the more responsibilities. So we're gonna be like, you guys have to look after some student affairs, but we're in charge because we're the adults. Like, none of that ever seems to happen. It's always about, oh, the kids are in charge. And it's, you know what? Just go watch Infinite Revias. Just go watch that. Go enjoy that. That's what happens when you let kids be in charge. Go watch Narutaru Shadow Star. That's what happens when you let the kids be in charge. Go enjoy that shit, because I don't have faith in that. Anyway, so they're sitting around a table, the four of them, and Misha just says, so, Ray, is it that you're gay? Like, just drops the thing. Just like, so, would you say that you're gay? And I'm like, normally in this kind of setting, swords and sorcery kind of setting, there's the sense that I have, where nobody's had mayonnaise before in their life. Chocolate is the thing that is blowing people's mind, but apparently it's just a thing you can make by just telling somebody, it's like, why don't you just make chocolate? And like, what are you talking about? Oh, you can just make chocolate? It's like, yeah, you can just be in Europe and make chocolate. You don't have to have like plantations for that in Africa or South America and have to get the cocoa beans from somewhere and have to go through a whole thing. You just tell a patissier how to make chocolate, and they'll be like, oh, I've made a chocolate now, and everybody have a chocolate now. That's a wonderful chocolate. You know, it's like, what the fuck? Like, there are things about these kind of series where I'm like, mangaka don't think this shit through. Anyway, the light novelist never thinks shit through. So anyway, is it just that you're gay? And Ray kind of like, Claire's scandalized. Lene's like, you can't just ask that. And Ray's like, I think that it does mean that, yeah. Like she's never put the hard work into thinking of whether she's a lesbian or not either. But as they keep talking about it, because what Misha and Lene are kind of the most interested in is like, why do you keep trying to shove Claire, who's sitting right there, you know, Claire Francois, who did not die, Claire Francois sitting right there, and they're saying, so you want to be with Claire? It's like, yeah, absolutely, I do. You don't want to be with the boys? No, I'm not interested in boys. Okay, but you want Claire, though, to get together with Prince Thane. Like, you literally were trying to push them together in, like, the last scene we just did. It's like, yeah, I guess I did, but I guess it's because I don't think it's going to happen for me, so I would rather she be happy, because she, you know, she's her Oshi. She never says that, you know, she's my Oshi, because how would they know that? But it's like, it's important to me that Claire-sama be happy, and that I might be in love with her, but I know that she is not going to be in love with me, so I want to push her together with Prince Thane. And I'm like, the very reasonable take on that. And it's probably the most that we've ever had this. Oh, right. And then there was that moment where Lene is saying, oh, well, okay, but that's like, you know, gender doesn't matter when it comes to love. And then Ray says, no, it does matter. I'm not going to fall in love with a man. I like girls. I only like girls. Thank you, Gekiori, for reminding me of that part, because it's a really good part. And I only like girls, and I like Claire. And Claire's like, I'm sitting right here. Can we not talk about this? And then two other girls who are meanies come in and they start being mean. And Claire gets up and gives them shit about stuff. And then she leaves with Ray. And it's obvious that Claire was doing this because she felt bad for constantly like being angry at Ray for something that Ray can't help being. So she and Ray was like, oh, you did that because you wanted me to feel better about that. Thank you. Because whatever. I don't know how the show ends up. I don't know if Ray keeps trying to push Claire to end up with Thane or not, or if it turns out that Claire's mind changes and Claire's always been a lesbian, or that whatever the protagonist wants, the protagonist gets, or whether Claire is bi, or whether any of that even matters. But I have to think that it matters, because the show took a moment and like a couple minutes to have the conversation. And this is the show that did that. And there's not a lot of other shows out there that have done that, and not a lot of manga or novels or whatever that get mainstream, like get an anime that also do that. So good for it. Did something really cool. I Eiko and Maga saying, "Would you like to know how things end up?" And you looked it up. I'm not going to worry about that, Eiko and Maga, but I thank you for offering. If I want to look it up, I will look it up myself. If I get curious enough about it at a certain time, then I will go have a look. Yuzuki-san Chino Yon Kyodai. I said we were going to watch this. Heather and I watched 3 or 4 episodes of this, and we have not returned to it. I don't think she's interested in watching more. I don't know if I'm interested in watching more or not. It's nice. It's healing enough. It's not that compelling for me for a watch, so I think it depends more on your mood as well. I think it's an interesting idea, and I think it's an interesting show. Earthen One says, "Is non beauty with boys?" Not exactly. It's family drama because these 4 are all brothers, and the parents are dead, immolated, died in a plane crash in a volcano. Who fucking cares? It doesn't matter what happened to the family. What happened is we have an anime family now. It's the 4 boys who are all related to each other. And also across the street is the old man who lives there with his granddaughter and his grandson. That has something to do with stuff. That's kind of interesting too. It's more just, I think, meditations on the kind of stuff that you go through as a alternate family. And lucky enough to have the eldest son, who he's a high school teacher and he's old enough to like hold down a job. And as Travelogue says, it's a very nice show. And it is. It's a very nice show. I don't feel a pull to come through it, to watch more of it. What our says is a good slice of life for dealing with trauma. I think you could say that, because yeah, it's largely about adolescence and it's about coping with death. But by the time we get to the point in the series where we're meeting them, we're not spending a lot of time ruminating on what happened with the parents. This is the family as it exists now. And this is what it means to be a part of this family. Also, these 2 here are like, you can tell from their ties, they're in the same grade. They're less than a year apart from each other, just barely. But it meant that they could both go to the same, school, and they're in the same grade. But they don't look like they're the same age, which makes it very awkward for the younger one, because the older one also is a much more responsible one. He's the much more headstrong one. It's all right. Miyabi says, "Did you know Wataoshi?" We'll roll back for a second. Wataoshi was made by a trans woman, and Rei is designed after her partner. Oh, cool! I did not know that. All right, Kaizo Pops. Let's. These are going to be faster because I didn't watch much that was shorts. I don't think. Didn't watch Chick Up Dancer's 3rd season. Didn't watch Hokugo Shonen Hanako-kun. Did not watch Kagejutsu the 2nd, obviously, or Matsu Inu, or Ochibi-san, or Rail Romanesque, because frankly that didn't go anywhere in the 1st season, and I figured it's not going to go anywhere else in the 2nd, and even if it does, I kind of don't care. Shinobanai Crypto Ninja Sakuya, nope, didn't watch that. I don't know what it has to do with anything. It has to do with actual like cryptocurrencies or some shit, but the Train Girls thing, they're kind of the trains, but they're kind of the mascots. I don't really remember. Doesn't really matter. Sumiko Gurashi Soraido no Mainichi, didn't watch that. Dark Gathering, didn't watch that. Helk, we are still watching this, but we're in like the last 4 episodes of it, and I just feel like it's like it's good. It's interesting. Heather does want to watch it. It pivots to comedy on a dime so fast. So fast! I want to finish watching it. There's just some nights, though, where I don't, because there's just some moments where there'll be drama over like 4 episodes, and it's just like, I don't know if I want to watch that. So, for what I think Helk is a standout show. It is being different, doing things a little different. A lot of the things are probably going to seem very familiar. I really thought Elg was going to reach an ending in 24. Bionel saying that, since I haven't seen the rest of it, I'm not surprised. The manga feels like it's going to go on way, way longer. So, anyway. I think it's a good series. I think it's a good show. I think it is interesting. It is not what you expect. A lot of things keep dropping that are not what you expect in the show. I don't know I don't know how it's going to end, or even if we'll get a satisfactory ending and just be like, go read the manga. We'll see. Looking forward to it though. Jujutsu Kaisen second season. Apparently, some people seem to like this show. Rurouni Kenshin, haven't picked up any more of that since we watched like the first episode. And was like, maybe this isn't a thing I want to watch. So yeah. Shadowverse Flames, Seven Shadows Hand. Nope. Movies. I didn't watch the Digimon Adventure 2 or the Gintama on Theater 2D Baragaki Hen. Girls in Panzer Sai Shusho 4. Hokyoku Hyakuten no Concierge-san. I wanted to watch this. Didn't see anything come up. It's two things with concierge in it. I'd like to. I love the really fantastical look of it. If I get an opportunity to find it again, I will. Hopefully, it'll be on a service I get or something. Apparently, it's showing on Instagram. It doesn't really matter. Moving on. Kitaro Tanjo Gegege no Nazo. So another part of the Gegege series, I guess. Komada Joryusho e Yokuso. Did not watch this because I didn't see it show up anywhere. Like to watch it. Obviously, a advertising thing, but whatever it is. A compilation film of SAC 2045. I already saw my SAC. I don't need to see another SAC. There it is. Madogiwa no Toto-chan. Didn't want to watch that, I think. I wasn't really that interested, so anyway, moving on. Wait, was this in the previous one? Yeah, anyway. Oyukiyumi no Kaina Hoshi no Kenja. Did not watch that. Why does it sound so... Sounds familiar. I don't know. Didn't watch that. Moving on. Hamifura got a movie. And there's somebody else in it. And there's lots of things happening. And I guess maybe I'll have to look that up. Is it on a thing? Pole Princess, the pole dancing movie. Didn't watch that. It's a sequel to the pole dancing series. This is the kind of thing where I'm like, the animation would have to be remarkable. But also, I also think that we would get like Kaleidostar style circus work out of the pole dancing stuff. I didn't watch the series. I wanted to because I was like, I know it's not going to be prurient. I know there's going to be moments where people are like, oh, you're a pole dancer, so you're in this exotic dancer thing. You're like 16 years old or whatever, but you want to be a pole dancer when you grow up. And it's like, I wanted to do something very difficult, and it's good exercise, and you beat the shit out of yourself trying to do it properly. And this is clearly, now we're in performance level, right? Yeah, I wanted to watch it because I wanted to see what's the take and where does it go, and obviously we concentrate on the athleticism of it too. Didn't watch it though because I was also like, not that driven to see it, but anyway, it was a movie. A new Precure movie celebrating 20th anniversary. Characters from all 20 series so far. There we go. You can see that this is that. Okay, so that's some Yuri shit right there, obviously. So these two are supposed to be dating because they got their hands outstretched like they want to touch hands, but they're not quite reaching. And that, there's so many examples of that showing up in so much anime that has two women in love with each other. That's just kind of become a thing now. You have your yaoi hands, which are just hands that are the size of an elephant's head. These are your Yuri hands, the ones that are constantly reaching for the other person. Let's see. Seishun Butayaro wa Randoseru no Yume wo Minai. Did not watch that. Yeah, did not watch that. Spy Family Code White, gotta watch that. Haven't watched it yet. Can't wait to watch that, in fact. I don't know where it's going to be showing. Looks like it's just on Instagram for there. Just came out, so probably in theaters. The Yuri Reach. Sumiko Gurashi movie, Tsugihagi Kojo no Fushikina Ko. Really the thing above that I didn't watch, so I'm probably not watching this either. Yane Ura no Rudger. Didn't really want to watch this. OVAs, Akuma-kun. God, more of this design. So, sequel to the 1989 original. Okay, so things that are being done by people who have done things for many years. So there we go. That's baked in there. My Hero Academia's got a card battle anime. I don't give a shit about that. I didn't give a shit about this to begin with, and then I gave the barest of a shit about My Hero Academia to begin with because I thought it might be something I'd be interested in, and then when I saw that it wasn't, I was like, that's okay. So I just stopped being interested. And it's a card battler now, so great. That's all right. Boku no Kokuno no Yaba Yatsu Twa Yaba. There's a spin-off of The Dangers in My Heart. Interesting. I didn't know about this. I got to remember to track that down. Cool. Probably 20 minutes or so, but still, cool. I like that. Still reading it, still enjoying it. Bokura no Ameiro Protocol mini anime. Didn't the thing, and then move on and Burn the Witch 0.8. Prequel to Burn the Witch. Didn't read Burn the Witch. So anyway, Dekoboko Majo no Oyako Jijo. So I have this waiting. I watched 2 or 3 episodes of it. I have to watch the rest of it. Again, a thing that wasn't terribly compelling to me, and I did ask Heather at one point, like, did you want to watch this? And because I'd already watched like an episode or two, I'm like, wait, did you want to watch this? And she's like, maybe I would. I don't, but now you've already watched ahead, so now I don't know if I want to watch it. I'm like, okay, fair. So we don't really know. Like, I haven't gone back and watched anymore because I didn't want to get ahead, and I thought maybe I would just ask to be like, hey, you want to pick it up again, watch a couple episodes, and see what happens. So it's not at all compelling content to me. I just wanted to see what the adaptation was like because I'd read the manga like about a month before it got announced as an anime. I'm like, oh, that was good timing. But yeah, we'll see. It is just a gag manga, ultimately. Ensemble Stars, Tsuyaku Selection, Crossroad, didn't watch that. Fate Grand Order, didn't watch that. Oh, I got to read the whole thing. That's the rules. Fate Grand Order, Fujimaru Ritsuka Wakaranai. Fujimaru Ritsuka Wakaranai Special, did not watch that. Fudanshi Shokan. The Fudanshi thing gets me. Fudanshi Shokan. Isekai de Shinju ni Hameorare Mashita. Mini anime 6th season. No. Good Night World. Good Night World. Good Night Merled. Did not watch that. Gundam Build Metaverse. We all know what happened to that, didn't we? If you've been watching Checkpoint. Moving on. Hanmabaki Season 2. Just the lumpiest protagonist and antagonist you ever. It's just a pile of lumps. I hope you like lumps. Did not watch that. Hyakusho Kizoku OVA. I did not watch the new OVA bits, but I have seen the other shorts, so I have to track these down now. Because I like this. I would like this to be more of a series, but I know that the mangaka pictured here as the way she likes to draw herself. Arakawa, is it? I know that there's only so much I think she feels that she can kind of like wring out of the experience. Hiromu Arakawa, thank you. And I would just kill for some more Silver Spoon anime because I think we didn't actually get the entire season. I would love to have more of that. So, but hey, if she's living a comfortable life right now and doesn't have to do any more of anything else, good. If Full Metal Alchemist is filling her basket, then great. You know, live on. You did some good work. You came with 2 really good series, and then this thing, which is also really fun too. Awesome. Cinema Roll animation. Nope. Jashin-chan Dropkick, Seiki Matsuhen. So if you like Dropkick on My Devil, single episode special for you. I don't know if Hatsune Miku shows up in it or not. Journey to Bloom. She's here. So you can have her if you want. There's all sorts of Journey to Blooms in here. We got Stella, Hope, Resolve, Happiness, and Self. So they're the 3rd anniversary of the mobile game. Kabigan to Karakara, that's cute. Kanojo Kareishimasu, third season, Pucci. Kimberly Maho Gakko no Yukai na Nichijo. And we're still just going through stuff I haven't watched. Mao Mao no Hitori Goto. I did not know that we got chibi shorts on their YouTube channel. All right, cool. I got to look those up. They'll be goofy ass things. That's Jinshi, by the way. Jinshi is great. Mask Danshi wa Koishitakunai no Ni. It is boys liking each other. So there you go. Mattare Kaisetsu Boshoku no Berserk. Meitante Pikachu Kare Naru morning routine. Should have told Heather that there was some more Detective Pikachu out there. I have to look that up now. Awesome. Probably on the YouTube channel. Looks like it is. Onimusha, Onmyoji. I think that's on Netflix. I'm not watching this. And I don't know. Yeah, moving on. Overtake Extra. There you go. More Overtake. Pleiades. Cross with Kagejitsu. All right. So there you go. There are some things. Oh, the shorts are not subtitled. Oh, no. Pluto. You should watch it. You should watch it. We've talked about it previously. I think even on Desert Bus, it was just like, hey, what's good this season you should watch? And we all just went Pluto. And we were not wrong. Because it's, yeah, as Bionel says, it's probably Urasawa's weakest, so it's only great. If you do, be cautious, because I downloaded my episodes to watch, and Heather and I sat down to watch it, and I was like, this seems like it's flashback territory. Like, why are we watching stuff that's going to happen by the end of the show? And we kept watching. I'm like, okay, but at some point we're pivoting back, because I thought maybe the show's doing a thing where we're trying to like set up the things that have happened or will happen to show you like, here's all the terrible shit that's happened. And then we will go through the stuff from the beginning. It's been a while since I read the manga. And we got through 40 minutes of that when I was finally like, hey, wait, hang on a second. And we stopped and I was like, okay, the reason why a lot of this stuff isn't making sense is because we haven't had an opportunity to be introduced to most of it. We need to watch, like, this is the first episode. So I go look and I'm like, yeah, it's the first episode. So I realized, oh, it's on Netflix. So we go to Netflix. I start watching the first episode and it's like completely different. I'm like, and then I go watch the last episode that I downloaded and I had a look at the first couple minutes and I was like, whoever uploaded this uploaded episode 8 as episode 1 and uploaded episode 8 as episode 8. So if you didn't know what you were getting, you would have no idea that you were being shown the end of the show. I was very mad. And then Heather had said, because I'm like, do you want to watch the first episode for reals? And she's like, I think I've already seen all the stuff that's going to happen, so I don't want to really. And it's like, So I watched all 8 episodes of it by myself. And I thought for sure this was going to be something, be like, this is really good. This is really good. And it's very compelling and it's interesting. And I lost her because some person fucked up. And I didn't realize enough what was happening and could have stopped it. And I wish I had. But, yeah. And what's funny is that when I went and I watched the other, like I watched it in order, I was like, yeah, okay. And then I realized, oh, wait, there's a ton of this show that I don't remember. So, great. I'm glad I went back and watched it. And you should too. Pokemon Concierge. We just started watching this. We're 2 episodes into it. It's very cute. Bam. It's very cute. That's it. It's very cute. Just, if you have Netflix, if you can download stuff, it's cute. It's just cute. You can just watch it. It's cute. There's 4 episodes. I'm halfway through it. It's just cute. Please enjoy. I liked it. I'm liking it so far. Princess Principal Crown Handler, Chapter 3, Cost for Custom Cars. Sakigake Reiwa no Otokojuku. So the Sakigake part always gets me because I always think of Cromartie High, but that's not really what I think we're doing here. Reiwa no Tokojuku. And we don't know what it is because it's not tied into anything. And it's also some, I don't know. Moving on. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. We haven't watched this yet. I don't know if I will. I'm not brain there yet. But then again, I also said I wasn't going to watch the Super Mario Brothers movie. Heather one night was like, "Do you want to watch the Mario movie?" I'm like, "Yes, whatever. You want to watch the thing? You just said the thing you wanted to watch. Let's just watch it." Sometimes it's what you need in some nights, and so I'm like, maybe this is a thing that we will watch, right? And everyone's saying it's very good. It's very good. I read it when it came out. My buddy lent me the manga, the graphic novels. I read it. I think almost all of it. I didn't quite read the ending. Then we watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and I was like, yeah, it was fun. And then this comes out, and I'm like, do I go back? Like, I know everyone's saying it's different. I'm like, yes, but also, do I go back? Do I care? Do I want to watch an alternate take? Do I want to see how things go differently? Like improved whatevers. So, yes, I know it's cool, but also, do I? It's like somebody. Thank you, Miyabi, for that for that comment. Do I want to go back and watch it? Do I? And it's a whole new story. I'm like, did I give a shit enough about the characters in the first place? Okay, let's start there. Okay? Do I give a shit enough about the characters in the first place? I don't know. And sometimes that's the thing. Because let's talk about Trigun. I watched the first Trigun, and I was like, all right, that did a thing, and it did its whatever. And then Trigun Stampede, or whatever the recent one is that came out, right? That came out. And I tried watching that and like, you know what? I realized that I like the original enough, but I only like the original enough in like the first half, and the second half lost me. And this one that I'm watching now is kind of just feels like the second half to me, but we're actually doing these things. And overall, I'm just like, maybe I don't care. So when that happens, I don't really feel that excited to follow on, right? Like, I've seen 2 Harry Potter movies. I don't care about Harry Potter and the rest of the kids that do the bullshit that they, whatever, right? I don't give a shit about that. I feel really good about Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson, and congratulations. Get on and go do other things. Wonderful. If I don't care enough about the story, the setting, the characters, the whatever, the plot, hard for me to say I need to make a return to it. I haven't counted this out. Like, I'm not like saying I'm putting my foot down. I will never watch whatever. I will never watch the new Scott Pilgrim series. I just don't know if I feel it. And who knows? We'll end up talking to each other in 3 months, and maybe I'll have watched it by then. We'll see what happens. Seiken Gakuin no Maken Tsukai. We're almost at 9. I can't believe it's taken me this long to just get through this season. Didn't watch this. Shangri-La Frontier mini anime. Didn't watch that. Shingeki no Why would I watch the final season? Kanketsuhen Kohen. Why? Would I don't care. Never mind. Moving on. This is good, though. Soso no Frieren, Maru Maru no Maho. Nice that things that I watch are getting chibi shorts. I will go check that out. Or maybe people will have translated it. So, anyway. Moving on. Temple specials. I tried watching Temple and then gave up on that. So, anyway. Just... not gonna. Tensei shitara slime dataken koleas no yume. I didn't not familiar with the slime thing, so not watching that. Idolmaster Cinderella Girls U149 OVA. There's finally 149 girls. Or wait, are they under the age of 149? That must be what that means. Anyway, that's that. That's that. We are done with fall. It is time for a break before we start with winter. I haven't read any of this. I don't know what's happening. So I'm going to send you guys to commercial, which is completely fair. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, sit tight. I'll be back in a few minutes with the continuation of this. And maybe we get this done in under an hour. We'll see you in a bit. All right, we're back. This time I'm not wearing my headphones, and it feels incredibly weird. I'm going to put them on for a second because I need to know that the Microphone is working properly. That's good. All right. Demon Fire speaks truth. If I don't wear headphones, how can I hear the chat? So I'm eating half of a frog. We got lots of chocolates from Mail Times recently, and the frogs have been good. I'm going to take a minute and eat the frog. If you are trying to follow along at home, we are on anychart.net. We're looking at 2024 winter. I had a shower today. I've been trying to shave in the shower. My skin has been very sensitive and uncooperative for my entire life. Let's just be honest. But I did manage to get some new blades for my shaver. I'm very stubborn when it comes to, let's just let's go on the booth for a minute while I wash this out of my mouth. But yeah, shaving was never a problem up until about a year or so ago, and got worse and worse over time. When I did realize that, like, oh Jesus, I actually haven't changed the blades on my shaver for about 3 years. Just recently, like about 8 or 10 months ago, I realized that, so I bought new blades, and that helped because I'm like, yeah, that can really be rough on your face. I just never, because it was still taking the hair off my face and it didn't hurt. It just was like, it's not that, because it was like, it doesn't hurt. It's just too aggressive. And I have the problem where the problem where I bought a razor years ago and I really love it and I don't want to get rid of it. Because I really love it and I want to keep using it because I also don't like throwing things out or buying new things and finding out I don't need them. And I have a Panasonic Arc 3 ES8103. It's an electric shaver, yeah. I like shaving with electric shavers, and I've always shaved dry. And I did a thing, and I would always forget to change my blades out for like years, and was never having a problem with it. And then more recently, it's been my skin has been a lot more angry at me about things, and so I've been trying to take care of it better. And yeah, just changing out my blades would have been a big help because I can't grow a beard. People would be like, "Why don't you grow a beard?" And then you wouldn't have to worry about your face. And I'm like, I can't grow a beard because all of the it irritates my face to grow a beard. And well, when it's done, it'll be in like beard doesn't get done. Beard grows over about 5 or 6 weeks. It grows out to a certain point, and then it just is like, cool. I hope you like stubble because that's what you're gonna have for the. You're gonna have a very soft, fine layer of hair that is like visible, but is pokey and stuff, but it's not gonna do anything. And so depending on how. If I start feeling lazy and I really just want to let it go to hell, and we'll see what happens. If maybe if I give it 3 or 6 months and I eventually end up with a beard, but I don't really want to grow a beard. I think I look mighty pretty without a beard. I don't think I want to have one. So cool. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying different shaving stuff, and I like my Arc 3 a lot. I bought it like it's gonna be 15, 20 years ago, and it still works. Probably needs a new battery. Probably needs a new LCD screen. They don't make it anymore at Panasonic. But I was reading a review site where this guy reviews a bunch of razors, and he's like, if you have sensitive skin, you might find that you get a better shave if you use the Bronze Series 5. And so I was tempted to do that, but I'm like, I'm not dropping $120 on a brand new razor and try shaving with it to see whether or not it fixes things and then find out that it doesn't. It's not any different because I don't have the same problem. Or if I do like it, then I'm getting rid of this old razor that still actually works just fine as long as I buy new foils and new blades for it all the time. Um, and so I have to decide on if I can get my skin back in its shape where it's like I can look after it a lot easier and like be treating it with stuff and whatever. Um, I have to do that anyway because it's not like I shave my forehead, but you can kind of see that my forehead's a little redder than places around. So I'm like, yeah, if I can kind of get everything back in order, then maybe the barrier will be intact. I don't have to worry about changing out my razor for anything else. I just have to keep remembering, on your birthday and on Christmas, get new blades. Every 6 months, have new blades. I saw some people be like, oh yeah, this is, like change your blades out every 2 months, every 3 months. I'm like, some people will be like, change your blades in your razor every month. And I'm like, I don't shave my face every day. I don't shave my face every 2 days. Like I shave my face every 3 days. And now I'm starting to, because it's a wet dry razor, I'm like, if I shave in the shower, it actually has a better result. So maybe I'll start doing that. So yeah. See, ArcLight has a good idea. When you change the batteries in your smoke detectors, change your blades. The problem there is I lived so many years in places that had wired in smoke detectors that didn't need a battery change. So maybe that's why I fell out of the habit. But I have battery operated ones now. So anyway, let's start on the real deal. Hey, it is 2024 winter. We're going to fly through this. We're going to get this all done in under an hour, right? That's the idea. Some of you already predicted. Some of you probably predicted one way or another. I don't really know yet. So let's see what happens. How fast can I fly through this? Sanjusai. Excuse me, my goodness. Sanjusai. Made dote da dote da to mahotsukai ni nariru rashi. That's such a great title. There's so much stuff buried in that because the Sanjusai being 30 years old, Made Dote, Dote is virgin, Dato Mahotsukai, which is a magician, Ni Nareru Rashi. So, Adachi, a 30-year-old virgin, has developed the power to read people's mind by touching them. After a brush with his very handsome colleague, Adachi realizes the guy has a raising crutch on other than Adachi himself. That's cute. I like Yuri. I don't like yaoi. So I will probably not watch this, but it does sound cute. So anyway, we will move. I know I watched My New Boss is Goofy. I know that people have been like, that is a gay show. And I'm like, yes, but also I didn't come there for that. This is clearly a romance. I don't know if that's a thing. I did watch Given. Given was a lot of fun. Didn't expect it was going to be yaoi either, but also it's like there's a lot of Yuri shows that I watch that aren't about two girls falling in love with each other. That's just a thing that happens. It's like they're about other things. So anyway, moving on. Akiyaku Reijo, let's see here. Level 99. Watashi wa ura boss desu ga mao de wa arimasen. So this is another villainous thing. I think I've heard of this. This college kid wants nothing more than a quiet life. So when she's reborn as Yumiella, the hidden villainess of an Otome RPG, she's not exactly thrilled, still yearning for peace. She abandons her evil duties to live a more discreet life until her gamer side kicks in. She actually accidentally reaches level 99. Everyone suspects she's the infamous Demon Lord. What future awaits her? Sold. Gotta try it. We'll see what happens. And okay, Tear Moon, then I will go back and I will watch Tear Moon. If I'm gonna be this about Akiyaku Reijo, we'll have to see what happens. So here we go. Ao no Exorcist. Didn't watch Blue Exorcist. Shimane Illuminati Hen. Not gonna watch that. Boku no Kokudo no Yabayatsu second season. Oh man, I didn't know. Awesome, great. Yeah, okay, I'm in. This is The Dangers in My Heart, second season of that. If you are not familiar with the show or this manga or whatever, you're gonna start it with the weirdest feelings because you're like, so this is about a show about a kid who has some psychological issues because he's clearly like, everyone else here is an idiot. It's very much chunibyo kind of situation, but more like, or I've seen it translated as puberty syndrome as well. That kind of idea of like, I'm the only smart one here. I'm the only one who's trying to be an adult. So I need to like try to be more adult. And I have some messed up ideas of what being an adult is like. and everybody else is just being a kid, and that sucks. And I just need to try to be more like, but I can't be like, like girls are like interesting and stuff, and that's fine. But some of these girls are just like they're flirts, or they're like they're being lewd because they're trying to sucker us into thinking things, and they're the problem, and like that kind of very fucked up backwards ideas. Um, this show sells itself. The manga sells itself as being about the kid in the front there. You can see him about him being that's Kyotaro, about him being very that kind of guy. And then he's like, I know what I'll do. Is my solution is I have to kill Yamada Anna, who is the very hot one, who is clearly 23 years old, but is 14 years old in the show. And boy, don't let that make you feel weird about the stuff that you constantly see the mangaka draw all the time of her, because holy shit. So this is a romantic comedy, and it is a romantic comedy. I posted a great thing recently where somebody was like, you thought you were in a rom com?" I was reading Yankee J.K. Kusahana-chan, which is a romantic comedy, but it is a harem thing. And there is the translators always like to take frames out of the manga and then write in new translations for them for their advertisement page. And so we'll talk about this in a second. Hang on. And so for this thing, the one of the frames they were translating differently is that one of the girls in the thing was saying, "Oh, I know what I'll do. I just have to force this boy and this girl to get together." And this other girl says, "Wait, you think we're in a rom-com? You think this is a rom-com? I have news for you. This is not a rom-com. This is a harem." And it's like, yes, because that's the point, is that in a harem, nothing gets resolved, right? That's kind of the thing, is that it's love hina, right? It's that kind of like, no matter what happens, all the girls will always be available, and the boy will never make a decision. He's the one making the decision here, right? Don't let yourself forget that the boy is the one who makes the decision about stuff. So anyway, I love that take on it. It's like a rom-com is not a harem comedy. Those are two different feels. So anyway, this kid Kyotaro, he's like that. He likes to read like, oh, mysterious murders that have happened and true crime and whatever. He likes to read that at his desk. He's trying to show off for everybody that he's twisted, and like, it's like total fucking psychopath kind of thing. He's not that kid at all. He's just a little lost at school. He has a couple of friends, these guys here, they kind of get along. He doesn't know how to process his feelings about girls and about adolescence and puberty and whatever. He clearly likes Anna, but he can't. He's awkward, and it picks a weird way of being like, hey, you might have been like this, to be like, I just got to kill the normies and that'll show everybody, and that'll be, it's like, yes, but also no, that's you just doing a thing. Boy, we need to talk to kids like you more, actually. I think we need to help you understand that it's like, it's okay if you feel weird about this stuff, if you feel weird going to school and like encountering people, and you don't know how to interact with girls because you like girls, or you don't know how to interact with boys because you like boys. You don't know how to interact with anybody because you don't know how to interact with anybody. It's like, I know that sucks. And high school and junior high school are like the worst times for that kind of thing to happen, that you get thrown into this pressure cooker situation of this. And a lot of you have different reactions, and you try to do different things a different way. You're all discovering things about yourself, and oh my God, that's so tough. And I was kind of there. And I got to put a lot of that off until university, because I had friends I could just concentrate on that. But yeah, he ends up making an impact with Anna because she likes to eat in the library, but he goes to hang out in the library to get away from everybody. And he sees her there, and he's like, oh, there she is, that beautiful girl. That's just, obviously she's the trouble that everyone's having. Everyone finds her attractive, and that's and she almost gets caught for like eating snacks, and he manages to help her hide them or something. And she's like, oh, you're a good guy, thank you. And he's like, I don't know what that means. Why is she being like that to me? That's awful. Like, that she would say such a terrible thing, but she called me a good guy. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that. And yeah, so, and it kind of, that happens pretty fast. First, second episode, that happens. And you realize that this is him getting caught up in all his own shit. And this friendship develops between the two of them, which is kind of nice. and it's cute, and it gets cuter the longer the series goes. And yeah, don't worry, they date, and it's kind of great. So looking forward to the second season. I'm looking forward to dozens of seasons of this. Anyway, Buchigiri follows Aladdin Tomobishi, a young man who becomes embroiled in a battle to see who's strongest after he reunites with his former best friend, Matakara Asamine. Meanwhile, the shadow of a giant genie looms over them. I can't, because that and that and the fact that it's a whole bunch of people who look like they all want to beat the shit out of each other. So, anyway, Card Fight Vanguard. Sorry, Card Fight Vanguard Divinez. Sixth season of that. Not watching that. Chiyu Maho no Machigata Tsukaikata. Why does this give me? This gives me a sense. It looks very shonen. Gives me a sense of that other one that was like the irregular at magic school, which is all very fascist. Anyway, an ordinary walk home from school turns into an epic journey for Usato. So after suddenly being dropped into another world with two fellow students, Usato learns he was summoned there by accident. Okay. Things turn around when he discovers a unique aptitude for healing magic. Now he trains beyond human limitations, using his self-healing abilities to gain absurd strength and unrivaled stamina. Okay, so Isekai. I don't really care though, so... It's funny because reading this, I was like, isn't this the beginning of the Executioner Yuri anime? Where the boy shows up and it's the job of the certain girls have to, they go out and they kill the heroes because the heroes have completely fucked up their world. But then a new hero shows up and she's a girl, and the other girl's like, I have to kill her, but doesn't really know how. And it's not cute. It's not a cute show at all. It's a lot, and the manga's a lot too. And I stopped reading that. But anyway, people are like, isekais have to be good in order for me to attempt to get into them, or so good. I honestly thought we moved past the constant isekais phase. We won't be free of this. Isekai is not new also as a thing. El Hazard, Fushigi Yugi, it's become, I think there is a societal implication here that the more you feel disconnected from the stuff that's going on in your world, like nothing is ever going to be good in your real world, escapist fantasy is going to become more popular and more interesting. It doesn't matter how you do it. Yeah, Magic Knight Rayearth, another one. Thank you, Lysander. So The Matrix is an isekai. You're not wrong. So yeah, we are kind of gonna be caught in that for quite some time. The ones that get me are the isekai that could have just been a fantasy. The ones where it's like, you got pulled into this thing, and then we're gonna forget all about the fact that you're pulled into this thing. You're just this new person now, and you only know the things that you know from here and that kind of thing. I'm like, those could have just been a fantasy show. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Not gonna watch this. Dosanko. How's Dosankyo? Dosanko Garo Namara Menkoi. So, snowflakes aren't the only things dropping in Hokkaido. So are Jaws, thanks to these super adorable gals who are turning the icy north into a hotbed of fashion and fun. Brace yourself for a winter storm of laughs, love, and killer outfits as these gals prove that being cute is an all-season affair. Here, Frostbite meets Fashionista. No. Wrong. All wrong. Do not believe the hype. I've read all of this. It's almost over. It's 100 and some chapters. You can get it on Shueisha's manga reader app. I have no idea if you can go back in time. That is not what this is about. What this is about is a boy from Tokyo, a main character, right? Boy moves from Tokyo to live up in Hokkaido because reasons I don't care anymore. He starts class in this, I don't know what town this is in Hokkaido, but I don't think it's Sapporo. I think it was outside of Sapporo. I don't think it's Hakodate either. But this is an opportunity for you, the reader, to learn how cool Hokkaido is, for one thing. And also, there are these really busty girls. Well, I forget her name. God damn it. There's her. There's also her friend, and there's also the senpai. And don't worry, we are gonna drag this harem comedy type feeling, this romance comedy out for 100 goddamn chapters and multiple gravure pinups and all sorts of shit. This is good. I read the whole thing, people. I'm gonna watch it for the adaptation. I just need to see how they adapt it. I just want to hear the voices. I just want to see the animation. I just want to see it gets adapted. Do I think this is good? Not really. I don't think it's a 3 out of 10. I think it's a 5 or a 6 or whatever. He shows up during the winter, which is why Hokkaido is so snowy. I wouldn't recommend this to people to read. I don't think that it's amazing in that way. But I do like I think there is a story here that would be fine as a romance comedy story if it was half the length. I don't know if the anime is going to do that because I don't think they're going to reach the conclusion that you reach in the manga, which is the main character dates the blonde. But don't worry, before he gets to date the blonde, every other girl who shows up will act interested in him. The brunette actually tries to date him, and then it doesn't go, and he's not interested, and that breaks her heart and whatever. And the pink-haired one is his senpai, and it looks like there might be something there, but there isn't. And it's just like, we're only introducing girls to make trouble. Now, I like Komi-san wa komisho desu. Komi can't communicate. I like that a lot. It is a comedy. It is a balls to the wall, like gag comedy taking place in school. Stupid, ridiculous, one-dimensional characters are everywhere in that. It's a lot of fun. But there's a nice romance subplot in it too, which I didn't really expect that we were ever going to get to it, the way it was being written. But then but when Manbagi shows up in Komi Can't Communicate, Manbagi, her being there was so great. The fact that she shows up, the fact that she gets to kind of fill the rival role, and it's like, I like that we found a great rival that is not a jerk, not a jackass or anything like that. I thought she was great that she showed up and we got a chance to play with that. The more recent rival character they wrote into the story, I'm like, you could have done without that entirely. We could have just cut that out. It was not necessary. Manbagi's great. There's so many reasons why people call her best girl in Komi-san. Now, this show is like, oh, there's this boy who shows up, and is he amazing and great? No, he isn't. He's like every other. If the girls stop for a second and look at every other boy in their classroom, they would realize he is like every other boy in their class. He's just novel because he's from Tokyo. That's the only thing. He's not even like, I'm a cool dude. None of that kind of shit. He's just like, hi everybody, like just kind of a normal dude. And yeah, I don't think it's great. I read the whole thing because I was like, titties. I like that. But no, nothing happened as a result because there wasn't anything ever going to happen from this. And that's, yeah. I'm watching it for the adaptation. I got to see what it looks like. I don't care about the story. I might not even finish the series. We'll see what happens. But I do like when it is, let's put it somewhere else. Let's put it in Hokkaido. Even Komi-san, I think, was not taking place in Tokyo. It was taking place in another part of Japan. Not Kyoto, though, because they have to go to Kyoto for the trip. But anyway. Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. Okay, I got Heather to watch The Apothecary Diaries. Can we get her to watch Dungeon Meshi? If I can do that, then I think I did good. Trigger's doing this. I'm very excited about that. So, yeah, looking forward to this. When young adventurer Laos, he's not that young. He's like in his 20s. Young adventurer Laos and his company are attacked and soundly thrashed by a dragon deep in a dungeon. The party loses all its money and provisions and a member, his sister, just so you know. Doesn't really matter. But you'll need to know. They're eager to go back and save her, but there's just one problem. If they set out with no food or coin to speak of, they're sure to starve on the way. But Laos comes up with a brilliant idea. Let's eat the monsters. Slimes, basilisks, and even dragons, none are safe from the appetites of these dungeon-crawling gourmands. So, kind of true, not really. Laos wants to go back and save Farin. Wants to go back and save his sister. Not everybody in his party wants to go back with him. So he ends up having to pull other people together to go do it. And the best part is he's like, maybe we can eat other things. We can eat the monsters or something. Like, he's trying to save her. They got to go down levels to do it. They run into Senshi, who is this guy here. And he kind of just lives in the dungeon, and he has that big black thing on his back it's a shield, and it's a giant wok, and he makes food, and he eats off food in the dungeons, and that he kind of turns Laios on the idea of like, we can just eat things down here, and he's like, yes, agreed. And meanwhile, Chilchuk and Marcel I know the names, and I never remember names, right? But there's like 140 chapters of this or something. It just goes on and on. These two are like, we're not into that idea, but we got to eat something. So they try it, and they're like, yeah, the food's actually really good. So, yeah, Marcial's the best. Oh, she's so good. I love her so much. She's so wonderful. Because she's got a lot going on too. I love this manga. And read it, and read other stuff by the mangaka, which is, I'm gonna get it backwards probably, Kyoko Rui, Ryoko. Someone's gonna put it in chat. I'm gonna say it when I see it. Anyway, it's really good. It's really well realized. There's character studies and stuff like character study books that the mangaka does. It's so good. Do please watch a couple episodes of this. See if it's going to turn you on to. It's on Netflix. Oh, good. Easy way to get it, hopefully, for most of us. Gekkai Elise. This seems like a thing I might want to watch. It looks pretty straightforward. Making up for her sins in a past life as the evil Princess Elise, Aoi Takamoto dedicates her life to saving people as a doctor. But a fatal accident cuts her atonement short, and since she's back in her previous life 10 years before her death, will her foresight and medical brilliance help her change her past ways and heal an alien empire? Is fate doomed to repeat itself? Okay, I have to process this. Making up for her sins in a past life as the evil Princess Elise, Aoi Takamoto dedicates her life to saving people as a doctor. Is this a reverse isekai? Like it's a double isekai, as Seth Erickson puts it. A whole bunch of people die, then she gets isekai'd into Japan, turns into a doctor to save people, and then she dies and gets sent back to her previous life, and now she has to change her ways. If that's what this is, I got to see how it adapts, because that's interesting to be like, I go into another world, I do a thing, I come back, and I'm the thing again, but I can be different. I was like, oh man. Then she maybe doesn't die. Well, everybody dies, Beej. Yeah, you're right. Okay, moving on. Gonna watch that. All right. Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun. I would like it if we could get more Nozaki-kun. Holy shit, that'd be great. The fact that we haven't is a goddamn crime. Okay, so Beej gets $100 million. We had that conversation. It's like, there are things that you would do with it, right? I'm like, yeah, I guess I'd have to find a way to convince a studio for like a couple years to just make all the stuff I want them to make. All right. Gekkan Mousou Kagaku. The story takes place in the town of Most City in a certain country. On the second floor of an old building is a publishing company that puts out a periodical called Gekkan Mousou Kagaku, a delusional monthly magazine. A science magazine featuring articles about shocking, bizarre events. Science magazine, okay. And an inexplicable phenomenon that makes even scientists throw up their hands in defeat. Its staff consists only of a beautiful editor-in-chief and her one editor, Taro J. Suzuki, who are joined by grade school-aged assistant Jiro Tanaka and his dog Saburo. The editorial department is always empty, and Taro, Jiro, and Saburo. Okay, great names. Great names. Taro, Jiro, and Saburo are usually hanging out in Rock, a coffee shop on the first floor. One day, the scientist Goro Sato visits them for a consultation. I'm seeing a lot of the O is coming up here an awful lot. Visits them for a consultation. Therein lies the beginning of an outlandish new story. Sure, I gotta know. I gotta know that hat, which is probably just hair. This, yeah, doesn't even say what it is. It's just gonna be a comedy, probably, right? Why not? High Card Season 2, second season of High Card. All right, well, enjoy that, whoever's watching that. Hikari no O, second season of Hikari no O. Oh, the Light's King, King of Light. Did I watch this? It feels familiar, but man, I don't know what it is. Mm. Cocoa. Oh, happy New Year's to those of you on the East Coast. I hope you're enjoying. It's 9 o'clock. We didn't finish. Well, I finished in an hour was the question. We got 20 odd minutes here. I don't think I watched the first one, so I guess I'm not watching the second one. If I don't remember what it is, then whatever. Oh, hey! It got an anime. Hime-sama, Goemon no Jikan desu. Or it's time for torture, princess. Boy, doesn't this look like torture? Hey, so you're missing this part underneath. All the food. So, oh, the princess who's been held captive by the Demon Lord's army is scheduled to be executed by the Demon Lord's relentless torture. Doesn't quite get it. Doesn't really capture it. But yeah, she's the commander of the Third Army. That's her sword Excalibur. She can certainly survive any sort of torture that the main torturist, whose name is also Torture, um, will spring upon her. Uh, and so this is the nicest capture. This is, my God, this is on the Shueisha manga reader app that I have as well, and I think it's actually all free. Yeah, Manga Plus. I think you can read it all for free. It is the same joke over and over and over again, and and it's weekly, I think, or bi-monthly, and I have not got tired of it. And it's like 90 chapters, and I have just not gotten tired of this stupid thing. And if they do it right, um, we'll probably get a couple tortures per episode. That's how it'll actually go. But it's the idea of, hey, so you know, you're getting tortured, so you have to find out a way to torture you. Yeah, what are you going to do? I can resist any sort of torture. It's like, well, I did make this katsudon. I think they actually just start with rice. It's like, well, I did make this rice, and the princess is like, oh, I haven't had rice in a while, actually. Like, no, it looks like good rice, but it's just plain white rice. What are you gonna do? I'm not gonna fall for that. She's like, oh, that's fine. I'm gonna sit down here and I'm gonna eat my rice. That'll be fine. And reaches down and pulls out an egg and cracks it and cracks the egg into the rice and then stirs it up. And the princess is like, wait, no, right. Raw egg on rice is like really good. And if you have piping hot rice, then it cooks the egg. And you can't wait to eat the egg. If you wait for the rice to get cold, then it won't cook the egg and it won't taste correct. So you have to, I want to have that egg on the rice. No, I'm stronger than this. It's like, no, you're really not. You're really not. And then you will crack and you will talk. You will share a secret and you will have your incredibly, your cold egg on your steamy hot rice. You'll mix it up and you'll talk about how good it is. And then you'll say something stupid like, the king's underwear drawer is the third drawer in his dresser. That's the secret she shares. And the Hell Lord is completely fine with it. By the way, that's the Hell Lord there. Well, and if you're lucky, you'll meet the Hell Lord's wife, and you'll also meet his daughter. Oh God, this series is so fun. Yeah, it really is, Madame Oreo. Put her in the comfy chair until she confesses. It's super silly. Define null. It is a very silly series. And like I say, it's the same joke over and over. And they do try to do new things with it. And part of the way they do new things with it is introducing new torturers to come in and do the torturing. So enjoy that. I think it's a blast. Okay. So here, Isekai de Mofu Mofu, Nade Nade, don't know what Nade Nade means. Suru tame ni ganbattemasu. So work hard at whatever. Dead of overwork at age 27, Midori barely had time to lament having to die that way. When a god appeared before her and said, "You will reincarnate in another world and tell me whether you think humans deserve to continue existing there. In return, I will grant you a special power." Then Midori, hoping to relieve the exhaustion of her harsh life she lived, found herself asking to cuddle cute, fluffy animals. Thus, Midori reincarnated in a new world as a young girl named Nefertima. Fine. With a power that causes her to be loved by all living things other than humans. That includes not only animals, but also holy beasts like white tigers and dragons, and even monsters like goblins and frozen spiders. but there's also a cruel fate awaiting her. Nefertima is determined to do her best to coexist with humans and all living creatures in her new life of petting and patting cute animals. Sold. I will watch the hell out of this. If this is, it sounds great. People are saying it's cute. Okay, yes. If this works, it works. If this doesn't work, that is a terrible thing. Oh, Nade Nade's head pats? Great. Thank you, Gekyoryu. I appreciate you pointing that out. So the Mofu Mofu is fluffy, fluffy. Nade Nade's head pats. Great. Ishura. All right, something more serious looking. In a world where the Demon King has died, a host of demigods capable of felling him have inherited the world. A master fencer who can figure out how to take out their opponent with a single glance. And he doesn't need the sword, I guess. A lancer is so swift they can break the sound barrier. A wyvern rogue. I like saying wyvern because of the Y instead of wyvern. A wyvern rogue who fights with 3 legendary weapons at once. Oh, like it's One Piece. An all-powerful wizard who can speak thoughts into being, and an angelic assassin who deals instant death. Eager to obtain the title of one true hero, these champions each pursue challenges against formidable foes, spark conflicts themselves. The battle to determine the mightiest. All right. That kind of lost me. The idea of, you know what, let's just make them all demigods sounds like it might be interesting. I don't really want to. I feel like this is the main character, except that I'm probably wrong, and this is supposed to be the main character because you dress like a high school girl. But I mean, this could be the main character. I don't really know. Like, if it's an action series, you assume they're always going to make the shonen protagonist look like the main character, right? But whatever. It could be a thing. I'm not going to watch it though. Jakuchara Tomozaki-kun second stage. I don't think I watched Jakuchara Tomozaki-kun first season at all. Did I? Jakuchara Tomozaki-kun. I don't think I did. But it sounds familiar there. Why does it sound so familiar? Tomozaki. Bottom tier character, Tomozaki-kun. Oh, that does sound familiar. Oh. He plays Smash Brothers. And he doesn't understand how to have friends. And then the only person that he hangs out with is that popular, smart, sociable classmate who says, hey, here's how you can get better. Because the name of the game is Attack Families, or Takfam. And says, okay, I'm going to teach you all the things. I'm going to write stuff on the board, and it's going to teach you how to make friends with people. And she's that person who's doing that. And he has to, like, get to know this girl and this girl and this girl. And I thought maybe this one, but I know these 3 especially, I think he was supposed to get to know, or maybe it was these 3. I remember her. I remember the one who looks like a main character from some other series, like Full Metal Panic, maybe, but whatever. I was like, okay, her and her. But we're like, maybe she's supposed to be the one he dates. We watched a bit of this. Just mark it as a maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Kekkon Yubiwa Monogatari. So marriage ring story. Yubiwa. Sato and his best friend Hime have been together for as long as he remembers. So when he tells him she's going back to her homeworld to get married, his first thought is to follow her and crash her wedding. All goes according to plan, and with a kiss from Hime herself, Sato becomes the new groom. But unbeknownst to Sato, the man who marries Hime is destined to be a hero of immense power and save the world. Is Sato up for the challenge, or is this just too much responsibility for one high schooler to handle? So kind of a wish fulfillment thing. So I get to kiss a beautiful girl and become the hero. And, titties. Staple entertainment. I don't know. Tales of wedding rings. Yeah, not really into the idea of I need to be a sword and sorcery or whatever. So, it's indulgent but fun. Interesting. Kingdom, 5th season. Kyujitsu no Warumono-san. That's, yes. Okay, no, I know what this is. An evil organization from another planet is trying to take over Earth. An extraterrestrial from that organization is named the General. Tirelessly fights against Earth's defenders every single day in a battle of life and death. However, today is his day off. I'm reading the manga for this. It's good. In fact, the series itself is just always about his days off. And there is a, Sentai group out there that is trying to also like stop the evil organization, but when he hits his day off, he takes his day off. And it's nice. And this is him. He's kind of just like low affect, no, you don't get to see his eyes or whatever, that kind of thing. But he likes to have fun doing, like, obviously, Panda, Zoo, does stuff. It's all right. It's like if Beryl takes a day off. Kind of. He's not frightening, even as the leader of the organization. He's just kind of like there. He's the pillar of that. Queen Beryl seemed frightening. So, moving on. Loop. Nanakaime no Akuyakureijo. Oh, there's another Akuyakureijo. Wa moto tekikoku de jiyu kimama na hanayome seikatsu wo mankutsu suru. Rish Irmgard Weitzner. Oh, this is tough. All right. A duke's daughter has a secret. She died at the age of 20 and returned to the moment 5 years prior when her engagement was called off. She had already experienced this time loop 6 times. Lived out those 5 years a different way each time. As a merchant, a doctor, a maid, a knight, and more. Now on her 7th go-around, she's determined to live to a ripe old age and spend it relaxing. Okay. But the moment she flees the castle with that decision in her heart, she runs into the infamously cruel crown prince of a rival kingdom, Arnold Hein. He happens to be the one who killed her during her life as a knight, but now he seems to have taken a bizarre liking to her and begs her to become his wife. Thus, in order to stay alive and prevent a war, the Riche utilizes her previous experiences to kick off her seventh life as the bride of an enemy nation's crown prince. I would assume it's because in he's been through his 7 time loops, because the whole point is that we're trying to get the two of these people together. Did I see through to the ending, folks? Actually, we'll set that as a maybe. We'll see what happens. Hiragi Utena. Okay, I don't think you're allowed anymore to use Utena as a name for your character. I don't think you're allowed to do that anymore. I think that we get to retire that, like we get to raise that jersey to the rafters, and we get to leave it alone. There aren't a lot of names in Maho Shoujo, in Shoujo regardless, of like in a lot of series. For example, I don't think you can call someone Usagi anymore. I don't think you can really get away with that. I don't, like, you couldn't call a girl Usagi. I think that would feel weird. I don't think you could use, like, there's other iconic characters. I'm trying to think of a couple more. Like, it was like, well, from Fushigi Yugi, Miyaka, but I don't think people care enough about Fushigi Yugi these days, even that have lasted. Goku's hard because Son Goku is still like a fictional character before that, but Confracto, you're on the right path. I think Utena is one of those things where you couldn't use that. I think there's like Haruhi, I think, is one that's like, I don't think you could use Haruhi anymore. Like, and I know that we got like a login for me, Luffy, and I'm like, yeah, you can't. I don't think you could use Luffy, but it would be weird to see that. But because also it's not a Japanese-ish enough name. Like, Haruhi is a very Japanese name, and they're like, Haruhi's also the protagonist for Ouran High School Host Club, right? And those things came out so close to each other that it's like, well, I don't think you could use that anymore. I think I think Confracto calling a character Shinji, calling a male character Shinji at this point, you might be, if they were a side character, then you might be fine with that, but making that your main character might feel a little weird. And I think there's a few shows where it's like, yeah, you couldn't, like Asuka is still out there, Rei is still out there. You can still use those, and maybe you're fine with doing that. But yeah, Shinji might be harder to get away with. There's just some iconic characters that carry names where I'm like, I think it's hard to reuse those names. So anyway. Hiragi Utena, oh Christ, that artwork, is a major fangirl of the magical girls protecting her city, so when she has the chance to become one herself, she leaps at the chance to join their Technicolor ranks, but when she transforms, she learns she isn't fated to be a daring do-gooder, but rather a villain on the side of evil. At first, she tries to quit her new gig as the leader of the local baddies, but she quickly realizes she enjoys it. As a total natural at tormenting the magical girls she loves so much, with both a bang and a whimper. Hiragi's journey as a magical girl tormenting sadist has begun. All right. So I have seen it said before that you can't just slap big tits on lolly characters and have it be like, don't worry, 18. And I agree. You can't just do that. So we're gonna step past this perhaps. I love that this is the comedy ecchi maho shoujo slice of life because it seems doesn't seem slice of lifey, but I'm guessing she's the Utena's one of these three, probably the one in the center. Maho shoujo ni akogarete. Whatever. Moving on. Majo to yaju. Yaju. Majo to yaju. Interesting. I get an interesting feeling from this. It all started with the 17 origins, whose powers were passed down to individuals who still exist around the world today. A man carrying a coffin and a girl with the eyes of a beast appear in town. The girl was once cursed by a witch and now searches for her in order to undo the curse. Is the witch who appears before them the quarry they've been searching for? And how can the curse be undone? This quest for revenge against an evil witch begins rolling when the beast captures the witch. This magnificent and intense dark fantasy begins now. Okay, you can't just call yourself a rad dude. All right? You can't. Oh, you most certainly are not. Thank you, Kyle Kinane. You can't just say this magnificent and intense dark fantasy. Is this making bank? Like, are people buying millions of copies of this? Like, is that the thing that's, because I'm like, this is interesting looking, right? I'm like, okay, interesting design looking, whatever we're going to skewed, whatever. I'm like, okay, yeah. The kind of the color design, whatnot, white umbrella. I could get a white umbrella. Anyway, I don't really care about this though. So let's see. Seth says, I'll be checking this out only because of the man carrying a coffin. Fair enough. Yeah. I hope you enjoy it, guys. I imagine you'll let me know later. Mashilu. Second season of Mashilu. Adapting the Divine Visionary Candidate exam arc. I like that we have the Dr. Stone cuts on the face as well. Anyway, when I'd seen this originally from Mashiru, I was like, not really, I didn't watch it. Some of you apparently have. I'm glad that the people who like it. Great. Please continue to watch it. I don't know if I'm going to go look up the old, go backwards and go find it again. But yeah, please do watch it. Mato Seihei no Slave. You don't say. Yuki Wakura watches as dueling supernatural forces ravage the earth. Mato are portals to another dimension, avenues from which dangerous monsters escape. Peaches are resources given to women, granting them abilities. Chief of the 7th Unity of the Anti-Demon Corps. Oh, we have already run out of pronouns, but for my taste. Kyoka Uzen arrives to save Yuki from a monster. Don't call them a monster. Call them something stupid like tables. The tables from another world. So surprisingly, Yuki holds the power to increase the Peach's effectiveness. But to save the world, Yuki must be willing to become Kyoka's servant both on the battlefield and at home. Bye. Meiji Gekken, 1874. Okay. It's been 7 years since the start of the Meiji era, and the Japanese government is pushing its policies to catch up with the might of the Western nations. Former Aizu retainer Shizuma Origasa has thrown away his sword and gotten rid of his top knot and is now a rickshaw driver in Tokyo. But his swordsmanship skills from the Boshin War are still alive and well. You know what's funny? I've just been caught off guard. Rickshaw. The Japanese word for vehicle is densha, right? Like there is a few for vehicle, but densha is like for train and whatnot. Itasha, because the sha shows up an awful lot. Sha, so Itasha is a painful car. It's the ones that have all the shit, the vinyl wraps and stuff of all the anime characters and whatnot. Rikusha, is that why we call them rickshaws? Rikusha? I should look into that. He is looking for his wife, Sumie Kanomata, who went missing during the Boshin War. Shizuma is recruited into the police force after he ends up thwarting the assassination attempt of a government official. At the same time, Kyoshiro Shuragami is a talented one-eyed swordsman who is a member of the Moriagumi Yakuza gang. This embroiled in a turf war in Tokyo. The Moriagumi are working with wealthy merchants in the trafficking of opium, and the profits are being paid a mastermind plotting to overthrow the government to return Japan to a place for samurai. That's probably not going to work. Then again, this is alternate futures. The destinies of Shizuma and Kyoshiro, who have opposing points of view, are fated to cross, but not in a way like RRR, which was totally fucking rad. Sad and ironic encounter and farewell await Shizuma. From the Tsumugi Akita Anime Lab. All right, well, this could be a banger, perhaps, but not really that interesting to me. It is dramatic. Mysteries I like, but the drama and the magical whatevers, it kind of feels like we got magical whatevers going on. I'm like, I don't know. Shadowhawk brings up, and other people as well, in fact. Thank you. I see Nico Darkly as well. Riksha comes from the Japanese word Jinrikisha. Jin for human, Riki for power of force. Yes, Chikara. You've seen that kanji before. So Riki is the pronunciation there. And Sha for vehicle, which literally means human-powered vehicle. Riki, Jinrikisha. Which means they could have used that for, well, actually, Jitensha. Which is, the Jin is probably, I'm going to make some guesses here. From Jitensha, the Jin would mean human. The Sha would mean vehicle. And the 10, obviously, we used Riki for power, for from Chikara. So 10 is probably going to be from divine power. Jitensha. Anyway, that's probably not right at all. Nintendo. All right, moving on. Metallic Rouge. Metallic Rouge takes place in a world where humans and androids coexist. The story follows Rouge, a bat, who is on a mission to Mars with her partner Naomi. Mission is to murder 9 artificial humans who are hostile to governments. They look fun. She's got glasses. All right. Dark skin, pink hair, kind of cute. I like that. So, I don't know. It just action mecha sci-fi, and I'm not really that into that usually, and I don't know. It's an original series from Bones, and I never know about Bones, but Bubblegum Blade Runner, oh, I like that. I like the Twilight Sparkle hair, though. That's also not bad. So anyway, I saw this announced a year ago. I went, hey, neat, then forgot, and a few months ago they dropped a banger music video, and now I'm sold. Okay, Nigooki says. Doodles tells us that the animation of the trailer looks great. I will watch an episode of it, perhaps. We'll put it on maybe. We'll see what happens. Momochi-san chi no Ayakashi Oji. Ooh, okay. On her 16th birthday, orphan Himari Momochi inherits her ancestral estate that she's never seen. Momochi House. Momochi House? Those damn bastards over at Momochi House. They're holding another rager. Goddamn toga parties. We gotta get the rest of the alphabet together and throw them out. Momochi House exists on the barrier between the human and spiritual realms, and Himari is meant to act as guardian between the two worlds. But on the day she moves in, she finds 3 handsome squatters already living in the house, and one seems to have already taken over her role. So, what we call reverse harem, I would still just say, obviously harem. If harem is supposed to be male-centered, and reverse harem is supposed to be female-centered, then I guess that's what that is. I always just assume that harem is like one person and a bunch of other people who are romantic interests. I try not to break it up into like, oh, reverse harem, right? It's like, it's still a harem, is it not? So a reverse harem would be one person at the center and 100, so one boy at the center, 100 girls all surrounding him, and they all fucking hate each other. That's a reverse harem. They don't want to be anywhere near each other. So I like to keep it gender non-specific in this case. It's always kind of bugged me for reverse harem. Reverse yuri means, 2 girls who do not like each other at all. Enemies to greater enemies. Enemies to people who absolutely can't stand each other. I don't know what to do about this romance supernatural thing. I'll mark as a maybe. I'll think about it. Nozomanu Fushi no Bokensha. Rent. Oh man, this is a titty festival here. Rent Fina has hunted monsters for the last 10 years. Sadly, he's not great at his job. Stuck hunting slimes and goblins for a few coins each day. His luck turns when he finds an undiscovered path. At the path's end, he meets his demise in the maw of the legendary dragon. So he was like going down the one path, which is like all slimes, going down another path, which is all goblins, and there was like one in the middle where there's like a bush. And one day he just pushed the bush aside. There's just a dragon head right there, and it just blew fire in his face, and he died. But he wakes up as an undead bag of bones. He sets out to achieve existential evolution and rejoin the land of the living. Okay, so existential evolution definitely sounds like some sort of fighting game move. Uh, yeah. Whew, okay. The comic is rather good. He's a bag of bones. I'm guessing that's the bones. I don't know if I'm in for this though. Like if I just said, "Oh, I'll watch it," because the rest of you are saying I'm watching it, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to watch it. I will skip it. Oredake level up na ken. That's some familiar design. Thank you, A1 Pictures. It's been over a decade since the sudden appearance of the gates. Oh, Jesus. The paths that connect our world with a different dimension. Since then, certain humans have awakened to supernatural powers. We call these individuals hunters. Oh, fuck. Hunters make their livings using by using their powers to conquer dungeons inside the gates. Conquer dungeons inside the gates. In the world of tough customers, this low-ranked hunter, Shun Mizushino, known as the weakest hunter of all mankind. One day, Shun gets fatally injured when he runs into high-ranked double dungeons hidden within a low-ranked dungeon. Just then, the mysterious quest window appears in front of him. We're fucking done. On the verge of death, Shun decides to accept the quest and starts leveling up. All the others aren't. Okay. Have at her, folks. Not my thing, I think. Oroka na tenshi wa akuma to odoru. Masatora Akutsu, a demon on a recruitment mission in human high school, is drafting allies for hell against the heavenly angels. But when seated beside the captivating Lily Amane, he's in for a devilishly hilarious celestial surprise. Oh, okay. So this is... Why does this sound familiar? I didn't read this ever. Demon and... whatever. Okay. I'll mark that as a maybe. This, I'm assuming, will be my Sugar Puff rom-com for the season. All right, Rock Pusher. We're not done yet, though, right? Pon no Michi. This anime is set in Hiroshima Prefecture's Onomichi City, where a high school student, Nashiko Jipensha, was kicked out of her house. Without a place to play with her friends, she learns that the mahjong parlor that her father used to run is now vacant. She fixes the mahjong parlor and turns into a place where she and her friends can have fun, cook, have tea, and sometimes play mahjong. I was like, why is it pon? Is it something to do with tanuki? Oh shit, they're all holding tiles. You get one. I'm watching one episode of this. I gotta see. Cute girls doing mahjong. Like we haven't had that 6 times before. All right. Oh, this, okay, we went to some effort here. Saijaku Tamer wa gomi hiroi... Yeah. Saijaku Tema wa gomi hiroi no tabi o hajimemashita. Young Ivy can't catch a break. Though she has a few memories of her past life, she was reborn into an RPG-like world in the weakest class, and worse is the weakest rank. As a no-star tamer, even her parents want nothing to do with her. She soon realizes she must survive on her own. She learns to live off the land and salvage what she can from other people's leavings. But when Ivy manages to tame Sora, a lonely slime, everything changes for both of them. There's something special about this frail little monster, and Ivy's care will bring out the best in both of them. Okay. I think maybe I give this a couple. See what happens. Saikyo Tank no Meikyu Kyoryaku. Tairyoku QQQQ no Rare Skill Mochi Tank. Ooh, Rare Skill Mochi Tank. Yusha Party o Tsuiho Sareru. I couldn't probably give me 20 minutes. I can maybe make sense of most of that. Rud is a tank of the hero's party and is said probably Rud. And is said to have the highest defense ever in history. 9999. The party often does labyrinth raids, but to Rud, it means more than just a raid. To cure his beloved sister's illness, he is in search for the wish-granting treasure that might be hidden in those labyrinths. But one day, the arrogant hero kicks him from the party after an unsuccessful raid attempt, blaming it on his skills. Blame it on the nookie, so you may do it for the cookie, whose effects he is still unaware of. Blaming it on skills whose effects he's still unaware of. Without nowhere else to go and nothing to do, he decides to return to his hometown where his sister is waiting. On the way there, he saves a girl who's being attacked by a monster unexpectedly. This girl has an extremely rare skill called Appraisal Thanks to her skill, Rud is able to discover the truth behind his unknown skills, which turns to be very powerful skills with defense of 9999 and powerful skills, which we'll find out about more. Thus begins the adventure of the strongest tank, Rud. You know what? Yeah, I might watch that. At least I'll give it a few just to see where that goes. Just weird to be like, I'm trying to cure my sister's illness. I get kicked out of the party. I'm like, I've never been hurt by a monster ever. But I guess I'll just give up and go home to where my sister's waiting. Wait, you're going to tell me that I have this incredibly powerful defense? Oh, all right. So, what if Beaufry, but a boy? Anyway, we'll move on. Sasaki Topi-chan. Oh. Huh. Sasaki is a middle-aged office worker living in Japan. Feeling drained by the vapid corporate world, he heads to the pet shop in search of a new companion. There he finds an adorable bird named Peeps and takes him home. I guess just Pea-chan, probably. But Sasaki quickly learns that Pea-chan isn't your average bird. He's a powerful mage from another world. Together they embark on a magical adventure filled with swords and sorcery. Now, obviously we're seeing some reality twisting here where it's like this and all this kind of being in like the same area. I'm guessing that's Pea-chan. That's Sasaki. That's a high school girl that he's in love with. Maybe it's his younger sister. I don't know. The Maho Shoujo thing, right? That's interesting. So I'm going to say maybe. Sengoku Yoko. The world is divided into two factions, humans and monsters called Katawara. Despite being a Katawara, Tama loves humans and vows to protect them from evil, even if it means fighting her own kind. Her brother Jinka, however, hates humans, despite mostly being one. The siblings are joined by a cowardly swordsman named Shinsuke, who wants to learn how to become strong. When the group uncovers a plot to experiment on humans and transform them into monsters, they vow to defeat whoever's behind it, even if it means battling an entire army of warriors. Okay, well, have fun with that as well. Shaman King Flower. I've never seen Shaman King, so I'll just move on. Am I supposed to read the sequel stuff? Maybe. I don't know if I need to. We'll keep moving on. Second season of Shin no Nakama Janai to Yusha no Party o Oida Sareta no de Henkyo de Slow Life Suru Koto ni Shimashita second. I feel like second season of this. I don't know. Man, I watched this, right? And like I watched this. I'm reading the manga for this. And I just don't know if I want to keep going because like I'm kind of getting done with the manga. The second season of Shin no Nakama Janai to Yusha no Party o Oida Sareta no de Henkyo de Slow Life Suru Koto ni Shimashita. A once great hero is now living the slow life. Red, shunned from his adventuring party, spends his days running an apothecary. He lives with his lifelong love, Princess Rit, and his sister Ruti. This feels like they're just like, oh, you know what we should do is pivot and do like an AU, but it's not. They indulge moments of bliss, like Sohei in serene hot springs, and enjoying delicious meals with a view. No matter what happens to the world around them, these happy moments will be unchanged. So, okay, so this is the second season of the. I got fired from the party where my younger sister was actually the hero. And I decided to move way out of town. And because I had liked, because Red, known as Gideon, beforehand, he took another name called Red. He went and he found Rito, and went and got her. And like, hey, I've always liked you, because she found out that he'd left the party and tracked him down to Zoltan, outside of Zoltan. I'm remembering a lot of stuff about this series, and she's like, well, I'm not going anywhere because I like you. And he's like, oh shit, that's awesome because I liked you too. Okay, I guess we'll let's get a double bed. So as the manga plays out, Ruti, not Rit and Ruti are two different people. Keep this in mind, okay? So Ruti, who's younger than him, this one here, she didn't realize there's a dude in their party named Ares who's an asshole. And he's losing his mind. And he's the sage. He has the power of the sage, and Ruti has the power of the hero. Power of the hero is, this is things I find interesting about these, is sometimes how they set these things up. They're blessings, right? And the power of the hero is that you're supposed to stand against the demon lord. Um, and so, yeah, Malady Dark puts it perfectly. The more hero she is, the less human she is. The hero doesn't need to sleep, can run for 24 hours a day, which is, you're like, huh? But then you like think of all the RPGs that you've played where it's like you never sleep. You walk around all the time, you eat some herbs, you walk around some more, right? It's like you only go to the inn to heal. You don't go to the inn to sleep, right? So Ruti stays up all night and she just kind of like sits in the camp. Everyone else has to sleep. She doesn't have to. She doesn't really have to eat. She actually is losing more and more connection with her humanity, to the point where she doesn't feel many emotions anymore. But she knows she misses her older brother, Gideon. Gideon was part of the party. Why was he part of the party? He was part of the party because he had his blessing was that he was supposed to fill the role as like guide. It's something along that line. It's a more flowery name than guide. But his job is basically he was to set Ruti on her path, and how he did that is became a strong knight, and then he's supposed to, yeah, his blessing is the starter party member in Fire Emblem. His blessing is to be like, I will be the strong one that helps get you going, and then I will be like your second kind of. I'll be the person who assists you in everything. I'm a tactician. I'm all these other kind of like great things. The hero gets to be the hero, and you're the only one who can kill the demon lord. But I'm the one who kind of keeps things rolling along. And they meet lots of other people and do things. And then later in the manga, stuff starts falling apart. So he gets kicked out of the party by Ares because Ares tells him, it's like, look, your whole thing was you were supposed to be the guide, and you've guided her. She's on her path now, and you being here, you're not as strong as her. That's obvious, and all you're going to do is slow us down and slow her down. Not slow us down, slow her down, and you just need to leave. Ruti doesn't want him to leave. She has no idea that Ares is telling Gideon to do this. I'm spoiling a lot of the manga, and I actually don't give a shit at this point. Sorry, but that's why he left. And Ruti has been spending this entire time in this adventure trying to go on with it, and finally she just says, "No, I got to go find my brother." And she just stops the adventure to go find wherever the hell he is, and that means that other things happen as a result. So Ares, though, wanted to throw Gideon out because he was not satisfied with the fact that he was basically like third banana. That he's like, no, I should be as the sage. I should be standing at the hero's side and being her primary support and helping her and doing amazing things and whatever. And with the older brother here is preventing me from being that person. That I can be the person who stands second next to whatever. So I'm going to get rid of the older brother because he's in. I don't think that he thinks that he and Ruti are supposed to fall in love with each other. Ares does. I think it's just that it's like, I need to be in this thing. So anyway, yeah. And the fact is that Gideon would have probably been an excellent person to keep in the party the entire time, but Ares managed to talk him into whatever. So, but what's weird is the way that they sell this. The reason I'm bringing this all up is that where we are in the manga doesn't match what's happening here. And I think even the way that the first season ended, it was like, it feels like it ends. I seem to remember anyway. It feels like it ends with, yeah, okay, Ruti gives up the hero life and stuff like that. And now that's what this is a whole season of she gives the hero life. I'm like, why would you do an entire season about that? There would be no reason to do it. There has to be more to the story past this. And maybe the fan subbers that I'm reading who are scanlating the manga are far enough behind that there's more story that's already come out that I haven't seen yet. It just sounds odd. I will, I think, try to watch a couple episodes to see what happens with it. So we'll see. If it's a light novel, then maybe that's what's happening more instead. So, Snack Basue. Oh yeah, absolutely. The gag comedy manga centers on a bar in Sapporo's North 24th neighborhood, 5 stations away from the Susukino business district. There, the bar's proprietor, junior proprietor, odd regular customers, and a share of walk-ins recount their strange lives. Awesome. Sold. Not just because of her. She's like the most like appealing person in this entire class or whatever, but it is a gag comedy, so it's going to be what it is. I love shows like Midnight Stories and like all those things on Netflix, like the Shindo, what was it called again? Which Midnight Stories is based on that anyway. It doesn't really matter. But all those shows that are and the manga where it's like Haraiso Days is another example of that. It's just like slices of life happening at a bar. People come in, regulars come in, they all have stories to tell. Interesting things happen. That's the end of the story. They leave. Next volume is like more of that, but it's a new character, or maybe somebody else related to a different character comes in. There's lots of good stuff like that. Like if you're looking for something kind of chill to watch on Netflix, Midnight Stories. Midnight Stories? Please tell me that's what it's called. There's that, and then there's a second edition of it that's called the same thing but slightly different. And it is just like it's like a nice small little bar. Midnight Diner. Thank you. Go watch Midnight Diner and Midnight Diner Tokyo Stories. They're both very good. They're very chill, very like they just want to tell little stories, and they're very cute. And I feel like the it's gone. Doesn't matter. Moving on. Let's get on. Sokushi cheat ga saikyo sugite isekai no yatsura ga marude aite ni narinain desu ka? Yogiri Takato missed out on a few things while napping during a school trip, mainly how his entire class got transported to another world, and how Curious Sage gave everyone special powers. When Yogiri wakes up, he and classmate Tomochika Danora must defend themselves against a dragon. Out of options, Yogiri reluctantly agrees to team up with Tomochika and fend off danger with his instant death ability, if he can keep his eyes open, that is. Oh, he's just a sleepy guy. He's just so eepy. He is an eepy guy who wants to just kill everything. He's an eepy guy that can just put people away. Comedy, action, light novel. I don't know. I don't think I will, so I might just move on. Death Nap. That's good, Laserbeak's Fury. Sin Duality Noir Part 2. Didn't watch the first one. Moving on. Tsukiga Michibiku Isekai Dochu second season. Second season of Tsukiga Michibiku Isekai Dochu. I don't think I watched the first one. Attacking Demon Army, Goddess, Makoto, Scrum Power, and Rival, Nuisance, whatever. I don't think I watched this. So, yeah, I will move on. Hey, nice. Yeah, okay. I did manage to, like I said, we talked about Urusei Yatsura before, right? The new series, 2022. So we're getting a second season from David Production. Thank you, David. It's Urusei Yatsura. In watching the first season, I had said, this is great, but I wish that it felt more madcap. And then it did. But you had to get 12 episodes in for it to be like, oh, achievement unlocked. Because they had to introduce a bunch of people and kind of get you into like that was what was going on in the original manga, and this is what people are like or whatever. And it's like, now you see everybody, and now you have a bit of taste of their personalities. So what do we do now? Crank it up. And that's what they did. Oh, so good. That is a new thing I've done to my voice. I have never heard that before. So, looking forward to this. Yokoso Jitsuroku Shijo Shugi. Yokoso Jitsuroku Shijo Shugi no Kyoshitsu e third season. I was reading this, I'm like, we've seen this before. Wow, those are some short skirts. Third season of this kicks off in high gear, special boot camp deep in the mountains. I don't think that I have ever. So we roll on. Yubisaki to Renren. With these hands, I want to tell you that I love you. Yuki, a deaf college student, sold. Struggling one day when an upperclassman from her school, Itsuomi, helps her out. Itsuomi isn't put off at all by her lack of hearing and interacts with her naturally. As he gradually opens up a new world to her, Yuki begins to develop feelings for Itsuomi. Thus begins the pure love story of Yuki, a deaf college girl, and Itsuomi, her upperclassman, who travels the world with her. Travels the world with her? Oh, yeah, okay. This sounds great. Okay, I'm in. Yuki, Bakuhatsu, Bang Bang, Bang Bang, Bravern. Bang Brave, Bang Bravern is set in a world where humanoid armored weapons known as Titonostrider, TS for short, are used in warfare. The story kicks off when troops from various countries converge on the island of Oahu. That's in Hawaii, including the main characters, Aoi Sami of the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force, and Lewis Smith of the United States Marine Corps. Isami and Smith cross paths during battle, but suddenly their teams are attacked by an unknown enemy, scattering soldiers and setting their forces in disarray. In order to save their friends and survive on a deadly battlefield, they must fight with every ounce of courage and pride they can muster. All right, new mecha series. I don't think I want to, but please, and this is a romance. Could be. Please enjoy it. All right, let's get on to some other things. This looks cute. Harimaware Koinu. The story of the series follows Koinu, a serious-minded dog who goes to work one day only to find that his company's gone bankrupt. At a loss, Koinu takes a job from a mysterious recruitment agent and is hired to paste dog stickers all over the city. Even though he doesn't understand the purpose of the strange assignment, Koinu works hard every day as new employment. And that's why you're going to see a ton of these stickers all over the place, all over the cities in Japan. It's all part of a marketing thing to buy stickers. I don't know. Maybe? I don't know. Meito Isekai no Yu. Isekai no Yu. Kaitaku ki arafo onsen mania. Tensei saki wa nonbiri onsen tengoku deshita. Sure. Yeah, well, fuck it, whatever. That sounds stupid as hell. Yoshizo Yukawa is a passionate hot springs enthusiast, a hot springs hunter who is able to sniff out the source of springs. One day, while searching for a hidden hot spring to revitalize the town, he slips off a cliff and dies! He's then reincarnated into another world by an deity of a small shrine hidden in the rocks. He's probably a girl now. I guess, maybe, I don't know. Yoshizo is joined by Inari's messenger princess Mayudama. The hot spring hunter within Yoshizo is stirred right away as he takes a bath with Mayudama in the hot spring. He just discovered. Then an elf girl appears. Yeah, it's shorts, whatever. Whatever, let's see what happens. Yamishibai 12, I won't. Please enjoy that. Beyblade X is still running. So is Captain Tsubasa and Dog Signal. We said we're getting more of this, and we are. More of this is happening. I'm probably going to drop this, actually. That's still running. Ochibi-san's running. The Ragna Crimsons is Shangri-La, and this free run, of course, is still running. Undead Unluck is still running. Bloody Escape movie, Jigoku no Toso Geki. After human experimentation turns Kisaragi into a cyborg, he finds himself pursued by multiple organizations, an undercover covenant of vampires bent on the conquest of Tokyo, and an immortal order of knights and a group of Yakuza sworn to avenge the killing of their leader. I might not have any reason to live, but that's no reason to let them kill me. Kisaragi will have to use his cyborg body and his unique blood. It's just jizz. And as well as anything else he can to make his big escape. Boku no Roboko movie. Oh, yeah. That's cool. I didn't watch the series, though, so I'm not going to. Doraemon, Nobita no Chikyu Kokyo Gaku. They're not making a new Detective Conan this year, so they're making a new Doraemon this year. Music exists in our daily lives for granted, but what would happen if music disappeared from the earth? This is a completely original story about Doraemon and his friends who are trying to save the earth from a crisis with the familiar theme of music. Given, Hiiragi Mix. Hey, we just talked about Given. I haven't seen the first movie yet. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll watch the second one again, just kind of like, da-da-da-da. They're probably making a Conan movie, Go Gekyoryu. I'm just guessing they weren't, because whatever. Haikyuu, Gomi Steba no Kessen. There you go, Haikyuu fans, getting a movie. Kido Senshi Gundam Seed Freedom. There you go, Gundam fans. They're making some more of what you don't like. A new Gundam Seed movie announced as a part of the project. This is celebration of its 20th anniversary. It's Cosmic Era 75. Big Naturals and coordinators. Let's move on from here. Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica while Purchase no Kaitan. We are not done making Madoka Magica. Please continue to watch and purchase Madoka Magica. I thought we solved Madoka Magica. We did not. Omuroke, a spin-off of Yuru Yuri series featuring Sakurako and her sisters. What? Why? Cute, but okay. I'm not going to watch it, but okay. Coming in February. Oshiri Tante Saraba Itoshiki Aibo. Oshiri. They gave this weird, like, flower child a gun. And the butt detectives after the flower kid. Will Oshiri Tante be able to solve the biggest mystery in history? I don't know, but it rhymes. Paripi Kome, Road to Summer Sonia, compilation film of Ya Boy Kongming. All right, well, if you like Ya Boy Kongming, there we go. Please enjoy. It's got new footage and Eiko's performances. Eiyu Kyoshitsu OVA. No, I don't think I was reading that. Was I? Eiyu Kyoshitsu. No, I don't think I was. Great Pretender, Razbliuto. Great sequel to Great Pretender. There you go. Centers on Dorothy, a gifted swindler who's supposedly dead after losing game of Shanghai organization. I don't know what the thing is, but anyway. Monsters, Ippaku Sanjo Hyoryu Jigoku. Monsters 103 Mercies, Dragon Damnation tells the story of Ryuma, legendary swordsman hail from the land of Wano in One Piece. Ah, there you go. Watashi no Shiawase Nakatachi. Oh, unaired episode of My Happy Marriage. Okay, well, I don't know if we'll get that on Netflix or not, but yeah, okay, put that down. Watched this, enjoyed it. It was a lot, but, everyone gets what's coming to them. Oh shit, that's it, folks. We did it. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. We went over, so some of you won. Congratulations on your prediction. Granted, I did talk for like 10, 15 minutes about my razor in the middle of the goddamn thing, but that's fine. We're getting another season of this too? Wow. All right. So let's go over things from this season that I'm looking forward to. Again, second season of Dangers in My Heart. That's cool, obviously. Dungeon Meshi, definitely looking forward to that. I thought for a while this should get an anime because it'd be a great way to, bring people into it. This double isekai seems interesting. Looking forward to that. And this kind of goofy magazine publishing company seems kind of goofy too. Yes, I do want to. I mean, if this is good, then great. And if it isn't, doesn't matter. I'm still reading the manga for It's Time for Torture Princess. This seems like it's going to be very healing. The isekai about head pats and fufa stuff. Tomozaki-kun, we'll see if we redo that or not. I have to talk to Heather because we both watched it together. She might not be interested or care if there's more of it, so that's fine. Yes, The Villain's Day Off, or Mr. Villain's Day Off. Looking forward to seeing that, definitely. The loop, seventh loop thing seems interesting, but we'll see what happens. I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not, obviously. And what else is in here? Metallic Rouge is a maybe for an episode or two. Maybe this one also, Momochi House, might be interesting for an episode or two. I know you guys are going to watch the Bones thing. Some of you were anyway. The Devil and the Demon and the whatever. This is girls who fix a place so they could play whatever. And then there's this, going to raise a tiny slime. I think this will be cute. Looking forward to that. Psycho Tank. This could be interesting too. If I start putting all these into my system, there's a lot of stuff that I might end up watching, and that might be too much to watch, but we'll see what happens. Second season of the Gideon Going to Live a Slow Life. Snack Basue, that'll be kind of fun because I haven't watched any like gag manga stuff in a while. And yes, Urusei Yatsura getting a second season. Looking forward to that. And then the Pure Love deaf college girl and her upperclassman who travels the world with her. Looking forward to several things this season, and I hope you are too. And it is almost 10 o'clock, and I need to pack up and go home because I need to do that. See that some of you you guys bet a lot on us, so I'm glad that you glad that you got there. Let's wrap this up so we can go home. I want to thank everybody who's been here, who spent your last 3.5 hours with me. The 200 of you or so that I guess we had something to do on New Year's. That is very gratifying, and I hope you enjoyed earlier today with Heather playing Baldur's Gate, and then Heather and Ian doing some Melodies Escape for you again, and also I think Wheeler was playing Is This Your Card earlier today as well. So it kept us all very busy. Happy to do things for you when we can do things for you, and yeah, it's everything you can like. We have lots of stuff going on all the time. And you can back us, and we appreciate that when you back us, because backing us on things like Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, very helpful way to back us. You can also just go to the YouTube itself and join as a member if you want to on the main page, youtube.com/loadingreadyrun. Become a member there. There's several of you already. We really appreciate that. You just leave your super thanks and all your other stuff that you do there. I have no idea what the kids call them these days. I assume that they're going to nick them down to soups or per thanks or perthas or something like that. It'd probably be perthas. I think they're going to call them perthas. It seems to be where we're going with that. There's also the store at loadingreadyrun.com. I want to show off the hoodie that I got to make this year that I'm very proud of because a full custom piece of clothing is takes work and took some time and took a big investment, and I hope that we have an opportunity to get you guys more sizes in the new year. We'll see what happens. And also you can go to PayPal, paypal.me/loadingreadyrun, and just give us stuff. Give us some money there if that's the way you want to do it. Just drop a one-timer on us, or maybe you want to every so often when you think about us. We appreciate whenever you think about us. And you guys think about us a lot here on Twitch, and I'm going to thank the Twitch subs in a minute, I promise. There are other things coming up on the channel throughout the thing. I don't need to talk about that just yet. And I think it's just goodbye from me. That's what it sounds like. I'm going to just wrap that up. So, yeah, good bonus stream. We'll see you guys in 3 months. We'll see how this all shook out. I hope you enjoy what you're watching this season, and I know I will enjoy it too. Thank you for hanging out, and we will talk to you later. Have a good night.